we are going to be making some wire wrapped planet pendants that we're going to be giving away in our Kick live stream tomorrow to our level 7 chatters, because over on Kick it like keeps track of like how often you chat, and the more you chat the more you level up, and everybody who hits level 7 wins. So I need to get some pendants made, but I also wanted to talk to you guys about like answer any questions that you might have, or give any advice that I might have to give about how to keep a craft business successful, or how to make a craft business successful. My hope is that I will be able to be helpful to y'all, while also just brainstorm up some new ideas for myself, and to just make sure, because I feel like to make sure that I'm applying my energy and effort where it's going to best serve me, because I've been feeling really spread thin lately for like a few years. And but we're still getting through it, and everything's gonna be okay. But I just want to try my best to be helpful to y'all. So we're gonna be hanging out here in this coffee. Well, my day just got better. And also let me grab my pliers. Lazy dog. Oh, and also, you guys, we have some tie-dye vests and circle skirts up for sale in the shop at backtoearthcreations.com. Lunch. Hey, Laura and I, how's it going? Hey, Deviously Vivid. Hey, Peace Wolf. Okay. So I'm going to start with eating this apple. How are y'all doing today? What you up to? It's been a doozy of a day. So I'm going slowly insane. And it's no one's fault but my own. Because I keep trying to do like a billion projects at once. Like honestly, like 5 or 6 projects at once. All of them are projects that would benefit from being given my full undivided attention, and none of them are getting my full and undivided attention. But that's okay. Hey, Anika. Deviously Vivid says, I'm so excited that you're moving to Alabama. Dude, me too. Oh my gosh. And so it still feels completely surreal, but unless some insurmountable obstacle derails us, we're moving our happy butts to Alabama. Oh, which Randy, I got a text this morning from somebody being like, I hear you're interested in selling your house.
Really?
Yup. And so that's ramping up in frequency. Still at work, right on. I'm good. It's good to see you. Hey, Kathy. Ooh, Laura Nice is on the lake. Nice. We're going to be moving to the Huntsville, Alabama area. Like, we're not in Huntsville, but we're going to be going to Huntsville for Sam's Club and like all that stuff. So, but I'm really excited because the house is like 20 minutes away from my father-in-law's house, and like within a 2-hour radius of everybody else in the family tree. So that's way better than 9 hours away, which is where we are currently. But this has me thinking, like, I'm basically, no, because it feels like I'm restarting the business in a sense. Like, we've come, well, get on up here, baby. I might give you some apple. Well, yeah. So our co-host today, the good Z dog, that I don't think I'm gonna be able to turn the phone for you to see, so I'm just gonna, he's gonna be helping me eat my apples. But we're gonna be doing almost a whole new show circuit. We're still going to be doing Dragon Con and Anime St. Louis as long as we keep getting back in, because both of those are juried shows, and if we don't make the cut, then we don't make the cut. But we're going to keep trying our best. But it's an opportunity for us to look at the different facets of our current business, and see what we want to maybe trim away and what we want to double down on as we move into this new area. Deviously Vivid said that's about 2 hours for me. Right on. Laura and I says start packing. LOL. Right. Well, we're budgeting for currently. I'm like trying to just liquidate all of my craft supplies, and what I mean by that is I'm trying to make stuff out of them. So we're trying to do like a no buy, but nothing about any of our recent behavior would indicate that we're doing a no buy because we just spent a lot of money on blanks for tie-dyes. Well, we got to be restocked though, you know, for in our booth at DragonCon and stuff. And but like I'm going to be using up our leather that way, you know. I'm going to be making some crap boxes out of the different like felting and embroidery stuff that I just don't use very much, so I'm not going to take it with us. I'm going to try to find it at home. Well, hey, Julia says, hi, Yvonne. Hey, Julia, how's it going? And Deviously Vivid says, I love Huntsville and has amazing art scene and very close to the Alabama Ren Fair. Did you know that we actually used to vend the Alabama Ren Fair in Florence, Alabama? It was a lot of fun. But yeah, Huntsville's phenomenal and they've really grown because that used to be, we used to live near Fayetteville, Tennessee. And so that was like our hub that we would then go to different vending events as far north as Baltimore, Maryland, as far south as Tampa, Florida. We had never made it all the way out to like the coast in the Carolinas, but we would do some North and South Carolina shows. And to see how Huntsville has grown in their art scene, like specifically the Lowe's Mill area, and just I'm really excited. Like I want to see if the Madison Street Festival is still going because that one was really good, like 13 years ago when we used to vend it. So, well, hey, Mary. So if y'all have any questions about might be pertinent about a crafty business, like with your own business and stuff, do let me know because I'm hoping that y'all will have questions that will help me to think of things that I hadn't thought of. Because, you know, we all want to make more money than just what it takes to buy more beads. Like I don't want to just survive, I want to thrive, right? We'll eat this apple. We're going to be making these in today's live stream. Using 18 gauge vintage bronze pear wire. About this much of it. It's like 20 inches. And I'll be right back with some 26 gauge wire. You could use 28 or 24 gauge as well. But yeah, just to let y'all know, we did upload a whole bunch of new tie-dyes to the website, backtoearthcreations.com. And you can use coupon code HAPPYCRAFTER to get 10% off of your order. And so like we've got these vests that I just love. They're waterfall vests. And so they have like a lot of drapey fun fabric in the front. How are you doing today, Itzy? So with our 26 gauge wire, I'm going to pull a whole arm span and like a half. In case I haven't shown you today. Oh, Keb says, is that Keb or Keeb? Hello, Keeb. Says, oh my god, hi, I'm making a leather corset right now using your tutorial. I appreciate it so much. Ooh, that makes me so happy to hear. I'm hoping to do another tutorial upcoming about a mini corset. That way, if you don't want the full length corset, it'll be the shorter one. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes when we get there. Because like I was saying earlier, I've been like stretching myself really thin lately. And so I'm trying to focus up. And trying to focus is just making things blurrier. We'll get there. But that makes my day though. Thank you so much for letting me know. How's it going? What stage on the corset are you? Okay. But yeah, in case I haven't shown you guys lately, this is how I store my pliers and such. Itzy says, I'm great, thanks. Hope you guys are good. we're doing pretty well. We took a good part of Tuesday off. We took all of Wednesday off, you guys. We just laid in bed and watched Spider Noir, which is not my favorite Spider-Man show or movie, but it might be one of my favorite Nicolas Cage shows or movies. So that was a lot of fun. And we just relaxed. And so I'm a little stressed about like time crunch because we have to get everything made for the art show by June 12th, which that's something new that I'm trying out, you guys, is being in an art show instead of just vending. And so I got to get some stuff made because I have probably one of the best problems in the world, and that is every time I make one of these dragon heads, they sell. So I have nothing in stock except for this great big one that we priced so high out of desperation just to keep it from selling, and I haven't put it up onto the website yet because I'm afraid of it selling, and then I won't have anything for the art show. And so, like, fantastic problem to have. I'm panicking. Yeah, this is just a spinny little tool container, like a little tool organizer, like a desktop organizer. I have my ring mandrel, my pens and accoutrement, my nylon jaw pliers, both the regular and curved bracelet ones, which are a lot of fun. And then my wire snips, my mandrels. So it's a whole compartment just for stick mandrels and my mandrel pliers. Because if I keep setting things down on my desk, it just makes me wild. Like, I'll lose them. They get buried under stuff. A compartment for round nose. A compartment for flat nose. These two varieties. And then a compartment for bent nose. And then up here, I actually wanted to show y'all the worst pliers I've ever bought in my entire life. And we paid like almost $9 for these at the Hobby Lobby because I wanted to get my niece some nice pliers, but you couldn't see the tips from in the container. They're not even touching. The jaws are not even touching at the tip, which if ever you ever worked micromail, that can be really, really frustrating to work with. But so, and they still have the box hinge, but that's something that I really like for my pliers to actually just be connected. So that was a thing. But yeah, one of these organizers was the best, like, one of the best desktop upgrades that, like, ever. It has made it so nice, and I have one or two at almost each of my workstations. So I'm going to flip the camera around real quick and we'll get to work on making one of these pendants that will be given away. I mean, Mary says take them back. I think I may. I actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold on to them so that whenever people are like, oh, what do you look for in your pliers, which is something we've been asked in the past. And this way I could be like, I want them to not be like this. This is something I would be unhappy with. But also I'm going to test them out and see if it's actually as bad as what I think it is. I have that pencil pen holder. It's great for tools. Oh, right on, Julia. Well, hey, Kitsune. Love photaxidermy. I have 2 unicorn head mounts in my craft room. Oh, nice. That's really cool. And Kitsy said, it's been a hot minute since I caught a stream. I'm debating whether I laze in bed or work while I watch. Ooh, what would you be working on? Keeb says, I customized mine to be a mini corset. I drafted my own pattern, but I've never worked with leather before, so I'm following your steps. I'm in the stamping stage. Ooh, right on. So I'm going to be using one of our groovy cabs today. And for the planet pendants, I really like the ones that are round, just because they look a little bit more like a planet. And it's had a groove carved into it with, I have a whole tutorial on how to groove a cabochon. And we use a Griffith grinder and a Twofer's brand jewelry bit. But this 18 gauge wire just sits in there so nicely. Well, hey, Off-Grid family, how's it going? So just putting a call out for if anybody has any business related questions or like craft related questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to go off on my own tangents. Hey, Anita. And about things that I wish I knew whenever I was first getting into crafting and things that I wish I knew a week ago. So I'm going to do what's called a twist tie twist. But yeah, my desperate hope is that by helping y'all, I might be able to help myself. So How's it going, Anita? What are you up to today? And then I'm going to use my flat nose pliers to just cinch that down a little tighter. I've been watching some of your builds recently and they are fab. Oh, thank you. Oh my God, is Tremendicon this weekend? Anita, I hope y'all do so good there. What size is your booth? Like, do you have a 6-foot table or do you have a full-on 10 by 10? So I'm just bending them to make them parallel. I'm gonna eat an apple. ASMR time. Num num num. So good. So we can do where we twist continually all the way around, or we can just leave it kind of where they'll be parallel. And I think that'll be okay. Ooh, a 10 by 10 corner booth? Get it. White Kitsune says, I'll probably do some dragon eyes of my own, but I've only got 3 left in the pack I got. Oh, goodness. That's like, you gotta... Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to have it where one comes on either side. There we go. Or do I? Oh, heck. I guess I should have twisted them all the way. Wow, I went insane watching your videos lately and crunched out 30 for my local science museum. Right on. Yeah, when you've only got 3 of something left, it's like, what? You really have to... It always puts me in a position where I'm like, uh-oh, what color do I pick? What do I do? Well, that's awesome that they did your local science museum. Wow. Keeb says, oh my God, the Saturn is so cool. Will these be for sale on your website? I do hope so, but currently this is the only one that we have left because all of the others have been given away to our, on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we live stream from 3 to 6 p.m. over at kick.com, kick.com/ back to earth creations. And there's like a Botrix thing that my husband set up that the more people chat, the more they level up. And everybody who hits level 7 for the month of May wins one of our handmade Saturn pendants. But we have, we had a winner last weekend and we only had the one to choose from. And I was like, we'll just wait. Like, you can wait to pick which one. That way I can have multiple for you to pick from. So I got to get more of these made. Kitsune says the kids love them so much. Oh, I bet. Oh, well, hey, Tim, driving and listening. Drive safe. How long is that? I'm looking for a ruler. It's like 1.25 inches. And Mary says, I feel spoiled when I win each month, especially after trying to win on here each week with my comments. Oh no, I mean, I want to spoil you guys, so I'm glad you feel spoiled because I want to spoil you. And I'm just going to bring this around. Okay, Amanda, this is a really good question. It says, how do you know what to charge for the pieces you make? And if a crafter's business can be totally online and successful, as I'm disabled and can't go traveling around to do different shows. Okay. First off, our most basic rule is if it costs me $5 to make something, before I factor in any time or anything like that, if it costs just in materials, if it costs me $5, I cannot charge less than 15 for it. So if it costs me $1 to make something, I'm not going to charge less than 3. If it costs me $10, can't charge less than 30. And that helps me a lot because sometimes I don't always keep track of how much time it takes me on a piece, or I might wander off halfway through and lay on the couch and pet the cat for an hour, or, it's like, well, not for an hour, that'd be a pretty good day. But it's not always about just how much time it takes me, because if it takes me something if it takes me 2 hours to make something initially, but then I get to where I can make it in 30 minutes because I've refined the technique or I just get faster or something, I don't want to be charging less for it just because it took me less time. So my first step is to factor the materials. And I'll usually factor the materials, even if I bought the beads like 5 years ago, I'll search and be like, how much would it be for 8 millimeter malachite today? And then, okay, that's my price per bead, and I figure it up from there. And it's quite a bit of work on the front end, but once you've done that work, it becomes easier and easier because you have a little bit of like a database. And then, from there, charge as much as you can. Like, I'll usually go to Etsy. I'll usually go to like maybe Facebook Marketplace, like whatever markets you like to be on. I search and see what comparable pieces would be selling for. So if I spent $5 in materials and I'm fixing to sell something for 15, but then everybody on Etsy, like nobody's selling it for less than 30, I'll look at what the highest price point is, what the lowest price point is, how many sales that shop has made, because Etsy typically displays that information. Because somebody might be charging $300 for this, but if they've never made a sale, that's not really a good price for it, is it? Whereas if they're selling, for $10 a piece, but still not making any sales, then clearly being in it, the cheapest option isn't best for marketing either. So there's, I hope that's helpful on the pricing, is to just kind of compare. And then if I still do not know what I want to price my pieces at, I'll make like a small, medium, and large, or simple, medium, and complex, or inexpensive stone, midline stone, expensive stone. And I'll just try to give myself a price point so that it's like I'll have some pendants that are 15, I'll have some pendants that are 25, and I'll have some pendants that are like 50. I don't know, and just to try to have a broader price range, or maybe different variations on the bail or something. But usually if I can have a broader price point, if somebody's like, oh my god, I love that, but 50 is too expensive, but then they see the $15 version and they're like, oh, that's pretty nice, but it's a little, I wanted something a little fancier, then it's like, boom, that's where we make the $25 sales. Whereas if I had just listed just a $25 piece, with nothing to give context or comparison for the shopper, sometimes they'll be like, they won't be able to see whether or not that's a good deal. Now, and also feel free to ask questions if you want me to elaborate more, because I know sometimes I can get distracted and sometimes I'll just wander off into the weeds and not answer the question at all. Now, the question about, can a crafter's business be totally online and successful? Yes, I do believe so. The first thing that we're going to need to define is what success is, because for some folks that might be getting the hobby to pay for itself. For some folks that might be like, for Randy and I, we feel like we are succeeding when we are able to, at the end of the month, put money into our savings for our retirement. Like, so not only have all of our bills been paid and we're getting good quality feed from the Walmart for ourselves and the pets, but we also had some to put into savings. Like, that's the success that Randy and I are chasing. Ooh, and then, okay. So I'm going to find one of the ends of our 26 gauge wire. Man. So online, I would recommend setting up your own website, and you can do one of the free ones that has like, it'd be like backtoearthcreations.weebly.com or like .wix.com, but just to build up a presence that you can put on your business cards or something, and start building up, business cards, it's like a broad term, but like that way you can just have an online hub that any of your social media platforms will be directing back to. is a pretty good strategy, that at least that has worked out for Randy and I. Now, this is something where I would really like to invite all of y'all in chat, that if you have something that is working for you, or if I say something and you're like, well, that's cute and all, but I tried that and it didn't work out for anything, then let me know, because sometimes something that works out for Randy and I might not work out for other folks, since y'all might be trying things that Randy and I never even thought of. So but with online, it can be very tricky. And my reasoning is because it's like, there's like a billion different platforms. Like, do you do Top Patter? Do you do, there's another one that's like an auction one. Do you do eBay? Do you do Etsy? Do you do all of these different social media? Like, do you have an X account and an Instagram and a Facebook and a TikTok and a like Lemonade, and like, I don't, there's so many different platforms. And it always gets me wondering, it's like, how's a person supposed to navigate this? And if I were asking myself that question, if I were friends with myself and having the conversation, it would be like, what advice would I give myself? And my advice would be to just post to the platforms that you are already enjoying being on, because you are already used to the interface. You're already used to, what it's like to comment and stuff. You might already have a little bit of a community of like Facebook groups or something. But there's so many different social media platforms and things. I think we should have been doing this with the 28 gauge, but I'm going to keep going just because the 26 is already eating into my fingernail. Well, hey, Benjamin says, hello, everyone. Hope you all are well. We're doing really well today here in our neck of the woods. We're just making some jewelry and talking shop. But you don't have to be everywhere all at once. Just be one place, one or two places, well, in a way that is not draining you. And I think it's actually the best thing to do. Like, if it were year one of me restarting my business from the ground up, like if all of my accounts got hacked and my whole craft room and everything just burnt to the ground and I had to start over from scratch, I would spend year one posting, building my website, posting regularly, not necessarily every day, but just posting regularly to my social media platforms and building an inventory of that way, I can do weekly shop updates. That way I can do, or I see some folks who are doing successful, it seems, doing just a once a month shop drops. So take notes on any content creators that you follow on your social media of choice who are doing something that you're like, if it sparks envy in my heart when I'm looking at somebody else's work, I'm like, okay, instead of just feeling wretched that I'm envious of their success, uh, what are they doing that I could be doing? To kind of, how could I emulate this and make it fit and suit what it is that I'm trying to achieve? And then just take notes and try it out, and if it works, hooray! And if it doesn't, then keep pivoting and trying things until you find what does. So we've just been doing a figure-8 weave here on these two 18 gauge core wires. Hey, Cove. Ooh, Keep says, I started a strictly online with my business, but it's exhausting. The amount of posting and advertising to build a presence is hard. I decided to start prioritizing in-person markets. And Keep, that's where Randy and I are at right now, is we are doing way better in person than what we are online. And I feel like a lot of it is because we had started posting every day to YouTube and, some different social media stuff back in like 2016. And just the way things have changed in this past decade, of once it got to where like Facebook and Instagram were like, oh, you're a business account, you need to pay for advertisements if you, it's like, what is it, promote your post, and then YouTube does that too. And Randy and I are just like, we're not going to pay ads. We're just not doing it. And that might be detrimental to our own business, but you got to do what you got to do. And I ain't paying Facebook. So, especially whenever it comes down to some of the for the rates for the advertisements, it's like we could pay to be at an in-person show. We could pay to be at a couple of in-person shows for what they're wanting for advertisements and stuff. Um, Ooh, I like the shape of that whoop of that swoopy doop. This is going to be a really wide Saturn, but that's okay. Um, but if you're not able to do in-person shows, then possibly look at setting up a booth in an antique store or in a boutique or in like just your local area. Is there anywhere that you like to go that has that to shop that has like booths for rent? Because you might be surprised at how well you could do not having to man a booth and travel, but to just, stay home on the weekends, craft and enjoy yourself, and then through the rest of the week, take a day or two and go out and restock your booths that you have in different towns around you, in different you know, Randy and I never did very well at flea markets, but that type of, where like you can go in into like an antique store and they'll have like different like boutique booths almost. It's like I don't know the words for it, but they're really fun to go and shop. And you'll find out quickly which ones you want to keep working with and which ones you don't. But there are alternatives to being just online that don't entail having to do setup and tear down and run a whole booth, 30 weekends out of the year. Because that, man, that was exhausting. When we used to do like 30 to 35 events a year, and it was just, it was tuckering us out. Plus all the travel and expenses and everything. It was a bit much. Whereas local stores, man, they would love to have something other than just what you can find on Amazon or Temu. So getting your handmade stuff out there, oh, wow. The local art center in Lincoln County in Fayetteville, Tennessee, where we started off, like for $30 a year, granted this was like a decade and a half ago, for $30 you're a member and you can have a booth in the art building, which is like right there on the town square. So yeah, see if you can get your stuff into some galleries, perhaps. I've known some folks who would put whether it's embroidery or whether it's wire wrapping or chainmail, you can put it into the county fair, the state fair, yeah, like it's so many different options. So, hey, Wolfpack. Hey, Tracy. Oh, Deviously Vivid says, how do you manage inventory when it's on the website and the same inventory goes with you to shows? Uh, manage is a really strong term. We're not good at that. We usually just pull everything from our website. And then like we don't delete the listings, but we pull like our tie-dyes especially. We just hide them all on our website and then we go and do the vending event. And then whenever we come home, we do inventory and anything that isn't there doesn't get listed up onto the website. Most of the time we try to maintain separate inventories for our website and for our booth. So like today I have the grand ambitions to get 7 of these wrapped. So if it were for, I'd put 3 on my website and 3 in my booth. And then also though periodically, since we don't vend very often anymore, prepping up for the move and everything, whenever we do go to a vending event, I'll probably just pull off of the website. And then that gives us, because if something's been on my website and hasn't sold for like 3 months, I'm going to go ahead and just bring it down, put it in the booth, and then put fresh stuff up onto the website. So it's probably way more work that way, but that's just currently how we're doing it. And that's one of the things that I've been so grateful that I've been giving myself grace lately to be like, I don't have to do it perfect. It just has got to get done, you know. So I hope that that was helpful. Pro says, hey, Pro Pool says, how do you stay motivated? Or should I say, how do you keep on keeping on? Uh, I am desperate to get moved back home to where my family is, and I need money to do that. Hence the hustling. And then whenever that's not motivating me, whenever I'm getting to actually enjoy the like artistic side of what we do, I just love making stuff, man. And so it's sometimes, I don't feel like wire wrapping, so I won't wire wrap. I'll do something else. Like, you know, you've gotta still play, even though we're professionals here. It's still really, really important to make time to just play and explore and not have a time constraint on a project and not have, oh, I've got to be able to make this so that I can sell it for this much, or, it's like, no, let's just have some fun. For the love of crafting, let's just have some fun. Well, well, thank you, Amanda. Says thank you so much for all of your information. You're amazing. Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm just a potato trying to get by, but thank you. I'm gonna eat some more apple. Mm. Mm. Okay. Mm. Num num num. And just sheer willpower sometimes too, pro pool. And coffee. I'd say lots of coffee, but I stop myself at 2 cups a day. So cheers, everybody. Whenever I feel the burnout coming over me, sometimes I'll take a day or two off and just lay in bed. And like Wednesday, Randy and I spent all day in bed watching Spider Noir and petting the critters and snuggling and just having a genuine day off. Like nothing in the house got cleaned, no work got done, no productivity was unallowed. Like so, in taking days off, it reminded me of what living's for. It's not just for making money. Like we're not just here to keep the lights on. We took some walks out in the garden and stuff. Like just really enjoyed our life. Like in my mind, it's like I want to live like I'm a billionaire today, not in the spending of money, but just in the not being stressed about it. And it was nice. It was really nice to just be in the moment and enjoy what we have. Ah, thank you, Giovanna. How are you doing today? Hey, Kitty. It's my understanding, says, hey, Cassili, says, it's my understanding that Shopify has some tools slash equipment you can get to update your website in real time if you sell something at a show. Ooh, it might depend on your site and its capabilities. Well, I bet that'd be super handy, like, if I had a Shopify site. And I do have, I use Wix, but Squarespace has those, uh, and Shopify has those, where it's like you can incorporate your website with your point of sale. But just knowing that it exists is the extent of my of my experience in the field. I work in a store like that, says Wolfpack here on the coast. Vendors can get either a shelf, ooh, for the window, or an actual booth, pay rent plus 15% commission. And that's pretty nice for not having to, run the booth yourself. Because then, gosh, technically we could be in like 50 booths. I don't know how I'd maintain that kind of production. But just in theory, you can only be at one in-person event at a time, but you could be set up in a bunch of different shops. Yes, peanut butter and apple. I was like, I've been so fussy all day. Randy's been taking fantastic care of me, but I hate doing molds and casting because it makes me feel so like incompetent and weak because like I break my molds and they were so expensive to make, but I didn't make them right. And so now they're all just like poopy and weird. There's not actual poop. Like it's just, I'm trying to not cuss. Thank God there's not actual poop on it. So everything could be worse. Eat this peanut butter. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, we had 7 minutes to get started, and I was like, I'm hungry. And so Randy made me some apples. Mm. Wolfpack says, or they can set up outside on the weekends for $5 a day and no commission. Oh my goodness. Z dog. Yeah, Z's in there hanging out with Randy. It's just me and the cat now. Oh, Kathy says, I just got my coffee, almond milk, espresso, and cinnamon creamer. Hey, Melisandre, how's it going? I took your advice on setting up your craft room. I packed up the living room and made stations, still sorting to each workspace, but I'm loving it. Oh, Denise, that is so cool. What stations do you have like set up? Uh-oh, I did that one wrong. We'll just undo it then. Well, there we go. I just want to maintain that figure 8 going. But yeah, the biggest advice I need to give myself right now is to be consistent. Because I'm all freaking out about needing to produce more. Because that's the facet of being successful that I always forget about, is that since it's all handmade, if I want to make money, I have to have made something. And so it really puts the pressure on to get some stuff made. Ooh, Peace Wolf says, how do you price reasonably when other people post similar things for extremely low prices? Like I've seen people sell things on Etsy for way less than what it would cost to make them. I just ignore them and price for what I need it to be, because a big factor of like if I can only make 10 things a week, but I want to make like $1,000 a week, then I'm gonna have to be charging $100 for my stuff. And so and that sounds super unachievable. Um, so I'm gonna flip this around so I can look at y'all eyeballs. I like eat apples. Um, and so, because there's like really intricate, beautiful wire wraps being sold for like $30, if that, on Etsy. So I know what you mean. And it's really, and especially like with chainmail and stuff, like sometimes some of these weaves, like something that Randy and I charge $50 for a box chain with anodized aluminum. Um, I've seen people charge like 15 for that out of the same ring size. And I'm like, how? um, but my answer to that was to just not sell on Etsy. Because if I'm on my own website, unless somebody's looking for my artwork, but they want to, like, they're either looking for my artwork or they're looking for a deal. And so it's like, if they're looking for a deal, they'll go to Etsy. But if they're looking for like my work, hopefully they'll come to my website. And that's why I really like being able to direct folks to my website, is because it is hard enough to get seen on social media at all nowadays. So the last thing I want to do is be spending all my energy and brain power on making posts that appease the algorithm. Just to have, somebody clicks the link to go to my Etsy shop, but then they get distracted by somebody else's cool piece, because Etsy's just full of cool stuff too. And so it's like, no, if I can hook somebody and be like, come and buy our tie-dye, and then they make it to my shop, I do not want them getting distracted by somebody else's beautiful tie-dye. So hey Christina, how's it going? Ooh, Denise says, so far my paper crafts, beads, Cricut, clay is next. Oh, that's going to be fun. Cricut really does benefit from having its own space. Progress, not perfection. You're right, Gray. I keep trying to tell myself that too, especially when I am panicking. Oh boy, and I am panicking. But also doing in-person stuff really helps with that, because even whenever we're at a craft show and there's 100 other booths, like maybe only 50 of them are jewelry. And that's way better than being on Etsy where like 50,000 other shops are jewelry. And not just that, but most of them are just like mine, or, something. So it's being in person, being able to use, like Randy's a fantastic salesman. He really is. And so, being able to use that in-person interaction as like part of the selling point, because some people, like at the, not the moth market, but at the Joplin Expo, where, because the moth market, it was an oddities market, so nobody was like off put by just my presence, I suppose, because I had like my flowers in my hair and everything. Whereas at the Joplin Expo, even though it was the same venue, there were people who would not even make eye contact with me. And I'm like, That's okay. I'm wearing fishnets and flowers in my hair. There's probably, like, I do not blame them for not wanting to engage because I'm probably just not their cup of tea, but I'm not brewed for them. But Randy, he's there just in his, like, comic book t-shirt, in his cargo shorts and just, like, I don't know, making his face at people, and they'll just talk to him and buy stuff. And sometimes he'll stand up and people will just and like walk off. And so it's like you never know who you're gonna vibe with or anything. But having that, you know, I don't know. Sometimes people will just like your vibe and just walk up and be like, "This is a cool booth," and you'll be talking and stuff, and then they'll be like, "Well, I need some jewelry," and then they'll buy it. And that's my favorite, is making friends and selling jewelry. Hey Barbie, how's it going? Mm-mm-mm. Gray says I see that on Etsy too, and it's crazy. It is pure bonkers. Denise says I got my pegboard up, my racks. I took the curtains down. Not sure why I did that, but I'm loving the natural lighting. Curtains are flammable, so I don't know if you do any fire in your crafts. But I took the curtains down off of that window because I was like, this is over by my torch. It doesn't need to be. It's okay. Are you feeling better? I hope. I've been meaning to text you. Julia says some of those people are not making it themselves. They're buying it overseas, like Temu. I know someone who does this. She only makes about 30% of her stuff. Oof. Well, and I don't condemn. Like, if I had a booth in an antique store, you bet your butt cheeks I'd be buying cute jewelry off of AliExpress and stocking my booth with some of that too. But I also try to do handwritten tags that explain this is handmade and this is like die cast steel, like, on whether or not it's something that I made. But whenever you're posting it to your Etsy shop, like I've had beef in my heart with Etsy for a while because they were supposed to be a handmade marketplace, and then they've got, you shouldn't be doing that on Etsy is my feeling. But that's good coffee. Craft Maker Pro has a spreadsheet, free last I heard, that can help you price your stuff. You can factor in your materials, equipment, overhead, and then determine how much you should charge as labor to make your goal. Craft Maker Pro. I'll have to check that out. Is that here on YouTube? Gray Cat says, LOL, so true. I love in-person events for that and getting instant feedback too. Yeah. It's nice. I like people. I do. Like, when we're in person at an event, and then I can like go home and be alone again with my Randy. But that's like, yes, but are all those other pieces best with chicken feathers held by squirrel hands? No. How are you doing today, Barbie? Hey, Khalidi. It says, hey, Vaughn, love your words of wisdom and your Saturn weave. Hope you've made a version with little beads inside the ring on the edge of the ring. We have this one's got a wee bitty boop boop. It's not a moon, it's a space station around in the edge. Oh, Christina. It feels nice to be resting, I bet. Etsy is no longer handmade, for like a while now. But I'm still sore about it. I'll take that one to the grave. Like, Oh, Tracy says, I love your flowers in your hair. I really love your unique style. I grew up in the 1970s, so I've always loved flowers in my hair. Right on. I remember we were vending Southern Weekend of Art in Fayetteville, Tennessee, and it was like prom weekend. We were set up, it was Friday. Prom must have been like that evening because there were so many young ladies going around with their hair done because there's salons there on the square. And so after their appointment, they'd come out and, they'd be walking around with their friends looking at some of the stuff, and some of them were snagging some last minute jewelry for their prom dress. And one of the ladies, she just had baby's breath. It was just a very simple like French twist bun, but there was like baby's breath just like picked into it. And I was like, I want to wear flowers in my hair forever. And it was just, I want that to be fashionable and trendy and just like allowed. And really nowadays people are doing whatever the hell anyways. So I'm go wear flowers in my hair. I forgot to today. They're over there. I don't feel like getting them, but I could if I wanted to. At different fairs, right on. But no, I still remember, I don't remember her face, but I remember how beautiful her hair looked, so elegant. And the stylist just put those little sprigs of flowers in there, and it was just perfect. Instant goddess mode. Ooh, Grey Cat says, I've been on Etsy since 2008. It's changed so much, it's almost useless now. Oof, I'm slowly working on moving to just the website for online. Right on. I'm so sorry to hear that, because it's to me, it's endlessly frustrating to be like, I've put in all of this work, all of this effort to learn what to do and what not to do, and and then they go and change it and now I have to relearn the system again. And so and even my own website does that to me, but just at a slower pace. But it's just, it seems to be, it is what it is. But I'll tell you what, vending in person, when we first started vending, we called them knuckle busters. You'd put the credit card down in like the carbon paper, and you'd have to and like get the info off the card, and then next business day you had to like call it in and hope that the card processed. And now people are just like boop, and they like touch their phone to the little square thing, and it talks to space, and so, other than that, not much has changed about vending. It's still people are people, and it feels so much like being on, whenever we're driving, we were driving to St. Louis. So it was only like a 4-hour drive, long enough to really get some chit-chat going between Randy and I. And I was like, it feels like we're on the Silk Road, just traveling merchants. But wow, of all the ways of being able to travel in luxury, because we're in our air-conditioned, weatherproof van, driving through like the rain and the heat and the wind, and it's just like, this is so nice that, because I'll have little, vending can be so much fun. It really is. Grace says, so did I. Then I paid a ton of money to have a wireless machine at Pensick. And so I'm so thankful for the new tech. It's nice. It's really nice. And they're always mixing it up with the like processor fees and crap, but it's still, people are people wherever we go, and it's just been so wonderful to get to vend and it makes me feel really resonated with like a resonance with merchants from as far forward into the future and as far back into the past as, the first time somebody sold a pretty rock to somebody else or traded a pretty rock to somebody else. Keeb says, do you recommend getting a payment system that prints paper receipts? Do people still ask for those? No. The Square does, where it sends an email, and apparently paper receipts have like microplastics or something in the ink. It gives you like, I don't know, nothing's good for anybody anymore, but I wouldn't bother with paper receipts. We used to carry a receipt book with us where we would write out paper ones. And if you want to, you can keep that on hand, but usually if we're taking card transactions, it just Square takes care of it. Barbie says, I really miss vending at events. What were some of your favorites to do, Barbie? And I'm still just struggling through. I'm going to do the 28 gauge on the next one. I very much prefer. The 26 gauge is nice, but the 28 gauge is easy. Gray says, I think I've had one person ask for a receipt in like 10 years, but I just tell folks they will get an email or text. But yeah, with in person, I love vending in person because it gives me a social interaction. Because I love this, but like, I don't want to just sustain on this. I want to get to see y'all in person, and so like my friend Anita, who's vending Tremendicon this weekend, like I'm kicking myself that we're not there, but we got to see her at the Moth Market, And it was so cool to get to like hang out with a friend in person. Like, I think I won. Okay, I miss Ren fairs the most. Oh, really great. Which ones were your favorite? But just getting to have that interaction and yeah, just the people watching and stuff is really fun too. So we're fixing to do the whoop back around. And so I do kind of want to just, I'm pressing up with my thumb. It's going to need to be a little farther out than that, I think. It's not the ink that's harmful, but the coated side of those papers receipts. That's right. It's always something though, isn't it? Like if it weren't that, it'd be whatever radio signal the computer's sending to the printer. Like about this close to do a tutorial on how to make a tinfoil hat. Oh my god, Keeb, good luck to you. It says I'm applying for the 2027 Bristol Ren Fair. That's a really good Ren Fair. We only got to go the once years and years ago. But one of my best friends from high school is very involved with like the Queen's College there. So I know it's awesome because I don't think she'd work with anything that isn't awesome. And if it wasn't, then it certainly is now because she's involved. So Barbie says I started out with handmade cage accessories for small critters like sugar gliders, birds, hamsters, etc. Then I added oils and healing patches at the end. I was lugging around gemstones. Right on. I always did exotic animal shows. Wow. Gray says, I was a vendor at most of the New England fairs over the years. My favorite was probably Connecticut Ren Fair and the fair at Hammond Castle in Massachusetts. Right on. Right, Sassy Cat? I used to make clothing, lots of cloaks and dresses. Oh, that's fun. Okay. So I'm just using my thumbnail to kind of encourage that to bend around. Woo. With practice comes progress, you guys. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the 3. We're gonna flip this back around because I feel like this is always a really tricky part for me. Oh, but sometimes I get so wrapped up in the financial side of the business and in the vanity metrics. That's where my demons live, is in the vanity metrics of how many likes or something one of my posts will get, or because it's a measurable metric, of like, well, it used to do this and now it does this. And really, it just doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. They're just vanity metrics. At the end of the day, the amount of likes that a Facebook post got, or the amount of comments that something on Instagram or whatever happens over on TikTok, it doesn't translate into my bills being paid. And it doesn't tickle the part of my brain that having an in-person interaction has. So I shouldn't give it so much. It's almost like a gambling thing for me. It's like, oh, I'll do this post and maybe it'll go well. But then I get so disappointed when it's like, this post would do better if you paid us to promote it. And I'm like, nah. But I just want to invest more in what's real when the power's off. Like if the internet goes down, I want all of my hard work to still exist. And it's not that I'm like a doomsday or anything like that. It's just I need something tangible that, feels real. And social media is a tool in that, but it is not the end all be all. So the advice that I'm hoping to be able to give in myself and that I hope I take is to not give so much weight to these, to the vanity metrics of social media as a gauge of to whether or not I'm successful. Because quite frankly, like our YouTube channel, we haven't had a video do like well since 2022. but we're still making a living and I'm still helping people. And so just because YouTube, like, I was feeling like I sucked, like I was just terrible. Like, and because it started to happen simultaneously at around the time that I had hurt my hand, so I was no longer able to do, complex, intricate wraps or, 10-hour long live streams or these things that. Ah, Kathy says, which vest are you wearing? I think I just bought it. Please don't get peanut butter on it. I think this one, and I don't know which one I'm wearing. I thought we had pulled it off the website, but if I do, it, if I were to wear something, I would totally wash it before sending it off to its new home. Ooh, getting a popsicle. Fabric costs make that impossible these days, but I have a friend who sells my stuff at her booth at the New York Ren Fair. Oh, that's awesome, Gray.
Take that one off.
Are you serious? Well, that's amazing. We're gonna have to wash it because I probably got peanut butter on it. Wolfpack says, like, I'm not paying you to play with my feelings. 100%. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Kathy. I think you're sale for this week's shop update. Like, we have 2 skirts on hold, so I'm not like panicking, but I'm also kind of panicking. Oh, Randy, I just saw the groundhog. Do y'all want to see this groundhog? Where'd he go? I think he's behind the dumpster. Well, anyways, okay. We're gonna zoom back out. I'm gonna get this apple 8. Hey, amazing Amy. Hey, you charge extra for the peanut butter. That's nobody wants extra protein on their tie-dye. Oh, I'm 100% sure it wasn't a rat. We've been plagued now for 2 years by groundhogs. We aim to be moving in October.
Was it in our yard?
No, it was across the street.
Oh, they can keep it.
Yeah. But it always lets me know to, like, keep an eye and make sure nothing's, when I spot one, I try to make sure that nothing's digging under the shed or anything like that. Felt nut feet. Oh, Wolfpack says, oh, I hate that you feel that way because you are the reason I started wire wrapping, messing with clay and resin. Oh, Wolfpack. And I'm gonna be honest, that really soothes the ragged edges of my heart for you to say that, because all I wanted was to be helpful to folks, and it's like, it feels like social media and YouTube and just being online in general is putting as many BS obstacles in the way of that as possible. But I don't know how to get to be in person to be able to be helpful to folks. And that's part of moving to the Huntsville area. I'm hoping to be able to get to teach out of the Lowe's Mill Art Center or somewhere, like I'd like to be able to be helpful to folks in a way that, not just in hopefully alleviating their financial stress, which was a big part of whenever Randy and I started our business. It was because there wasn't anywhere else to work in town. It's Randy was working seasonally at the factory that did layoffs every, so often. And whenever he got laid off, he'd be working at the Walmart. But he was just miserable there because he's a hard worker, and it just seems the way of, managing anything is that, if you have a hard worker, you just don't pay them and you don't get them any help and you just use and abuse them until, they go postal. And Randy was at his wit's end. And so when the factory did layoffs again, and when the store that I was working at had closed down, excuse me, we decided. Oh, you do it, baby. Yeah, Randy's here. He's off behind me. Didn't you do leather classes before, or I'm confused? I had taught leather as well at a Tandy Leather in Springfield, Missouri a few times, as well as in person at conventions. But conventions have gotten so expensive, both to attend and to event, that unless they have us in as like a guest, we can't afford to go. And we've been out of the convention scene for so long that to come back in and be like, Brumph, let's have me in as a guest. It's like, who are you? So we're going to have to kind of rebuild from the ground up. And I'm looking forward to doing that in the Huntsville area. Um, I'm going to do this one for 4. Sorry, I mute so I can sneeze. Oh, wow. Julia says, when I lost my job in 2014, I found you on YouTube. You're the one that I learned wire wrapping from. Wow, that was so long ago. That's amazing, though. How much 26 gauge wire did you pull off for this pendant? Like 7 feet, and it's way more than what I needed. Like, by a bunch. Ooh, Barbie asks, would you ask him if he's willing to show and tell tie-dye 86, please? I will ask him that, Barbie. Wandy. He says it'll be a sec. Getting sent out to get subs for dinner. If I'm back after the stream ends, I love y'all and hope you'll have a great crafty night. Best of luck. Oh, thank you, Kitsun. Yeah, we're hoping to move in October, where our last vending event is in September. That's Dragon Con, because we only have 2. We have an art show at SoonerCon in Norman, Oklahoma at the end of June, but I have to have everything made and ready for it by June 12th, which panic intensifies. But I'm also very excited because we've never done an art show before. But if I want to get a studio at the Lowe's Art Mill, they want you to have been in art shows before. So guess who's doing art shows now? If I see a hoop, I just gotta try jumping through it. I can't help myself. And then Dragon Con in September. And then after we vend Dragon Con, we are spending the entire month of September packing our home. And I don't know if we'll be live streaming. I aim to be live streaming just because I'm desperately trying to stay consistent even through all the tumultuous excitement of moving. And I don't know how long moving's going to take. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know anything. So I just know that Randy and I will lean on each other and we will get through it. And we're going to vlog the whole dang old thing. So, which by the way, if y'all didn't know, I've been posting weekly vlogs here on YouTube every Tuesday. It's just a little bit of like a weekly recap. It's not exactly a tutorial, but it's what we've been up to in the craft room. And I've really been enjoying doing those because it's been so busy lately that sometimes it feels like my whole life is just blurring by. And it's like, I don't even know what I did. And so that's why I vlog it, is that Randy and I can go back and watch it and be like, we did do stuff this week. We did accomplish something. Pro says, I love the vlogs. Always have monster vlogs. Oh, well, we're posting them to the Back to Earth Creations channel now on Tuesdays because I figured I feel spread real thin. Nobody's making me do any of this other than myself. So screw all the other YouTube channels I had set up. I'm just going to focus on this one and just keep on keeping on. Oh, Julia, I'm so glad. Barbie says, are you posting on making it on a quarter anymore? Not currently, just because I don't have any videos for it. I just get a little bit of garden footage and put that into the weekly vlog here on the Back to Earth Creations channel. Now, we haven't closed down any of the channels or anything, but I had made the making it on a quarter vlog because we were like, well, I guess we'll just live here in Missouri forever. And then this opportunity comes up. And it's like, okay, I guess we're moving to Alabama. So, and it's on 2 acres, so the name doesn't make sense anymore. Because here we're on a quarter of an acre. And so just weaving around. It's a 2-beat figure 8 weave, so I go 1, 2. Maybe. Well, Randy says maybe we just need to make the garden be a quarter of an acre. Quite possibly. But I'm not going to try to have my whole future planned out. Like, quite frankly, if it's farther than 2 weeks away, I don't need any fine details hammered out yet. If it's like 4 weeks away, I'll start hammering out fine details. But other than that, just living in the moment, baby. Living to 8/4. And so now from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snip with my wire snips. Do 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 do. Oh, Melisandre says your dragons are the most beautiful art one can imagine. That is so kind. That is so kind of you. Um, yes, wingspan and a half, Peace Wolf. Well, here's to a super prosperous new chapter for you guys. Thank you, Wolfpack. I'm really excited. He has to wear it. No. I started learning chainmail and wire wrapping from you. Oh, do you have any favorite chainmail weaves? Okay, TD86. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. I don't know if this one will fit Randy. So, TD86 is this bag of bricks. Is a cold shoulder poncho top. So it's got these really cute little shoulder gaps. And then it just comes down like a square poncho. And it is so pretty. This is a 2XL. But the nice thing about these tie-dyes is that even if a 2XL would be big on you, it's just flowy. And I think tie-dye was made to flow. So the movement, whenever the fabric, it just makes it come to life, I think. And I just love the spirals too, just coming. If red were more my color, this one might have had to stay with me. But also, it's got a good length. That way, if you're wearing like leggings or something, you don't have to worry about it being too short. And that's the armhole. And it's just a seam whoop, right down the side. Put it on, Randy. This is so cool. You're a miscreant and a scallywag. Oh, well, thank you, Melisandre. But yeah, so it's, even after all this time of, we started our business back in 2008. Even after all this time, we don't really know what we're doing, but I have full and complete faith in Randy and I's ability to roll with the punches and figure it out as we go. Because if you are consistent, that's the most irresistible force in the universe to just, other than gravity and like physics. So if you just forget about physics, but consistency, it's we'll make progress. We'll get to where we're going. We don't have to have every little thing figured out, and that can feel really scary, especially after I was like trying to train myself to like adhere to a thank you, Andy. Like I started doing like fly lady stuff to try to like get my hoarder house in order. Okay, this was back in like 2020 as well, so it's like I was trying to get my life together. I was trying to feel like an actual grown-up instead of just feeling like an overgrown child who's just bumbling around somehow making it by. Yeah, I still feel like that. But I was like, but if I have a planner, then I could plan for my bumbling and be more productive. And it's like, productivity isn't everything. We are not machines. We are not meant to just constantly extrude artwork out of ourselves. Things have seasons. Follow your passions, like rotate your pastures, like the concept that more bills? Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy.
You're supposed to get the wax sinew.
Yeah. Maybe it'll still arrive today, who knows?
Well, I highly doubt it.
Right on, Barbie. Which we do have those 2 skirts set aside for you. But yeah, we don't have to have everything figured out. We don't have to have all the answers. Oh, Hayes says, love listening to your lives while I work the day job on Fridays. Well, I'm glad to get to keep you company. But it's doing these live streams, y'all, I can't even tell you what a grumpy dumpling I've been all day. And Randy, he's so sweet and patient. Like, it's like he tries to lure giggles out of me, like he needs them to survive. Because I'm just there, like, just mad about existing because of these stinking molds that I'm just all up into my own head about. Um, and then he'll come through and like he'll just do something weird like with the and it makes me crack a smile, and I see him be like he doesn't do that, but like I can tell that it's like he's so sweet, like, and yet here I am just being a grumpy dumpling, and doing the live streams really helps me to get Kathy. Oh goodness gracious, well thank you so much. Ooh, Gray Cat says, I completely agree with you. I'm 52 and just trying to accept that things just don't always go as planned. And my house will probably always be a mess, but any progress I can make is good. Yeah. We got this though, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to be a bit of a mess. I mean, I didn't want to die under one of my hoarder piles, and it was getting pretty bad. But it's still okay to be a little bit of a mess. Like, all things in moderation. Kathy says, can you buy more sinew now? Well, we did buy more sinew. It just hasn't gotten, sorry, I'll get that out of my mouth. It just hasn't gotten here. And it's like the only place with sinew that I can, not to be like I can trust, but it's like I haven't bought these other sinews except for some of them, and they were not waxed properly. So Grey Cat says, you're always so positive online. You're a ray of sunshine. Well, I'm going to be honest. Y'all bring out the best in me, I think. I hope. You know, and so, and it's, I think I'm at my best when I'm not just stewing about things that I did wrong. Like, because, man, I really goobered up. I should have done the mold so much thicker. I shouldn't have done them the way that I did them. The mold, like, the mother molds, I was being stingy, and so, of course, they're breaking. And so, it's just, like, and I need to not be, like, busting my, I'm not gonna say, I don't need to be busting my balls about it. Like, you know, like, it's like, I need to get off my own back. Just be happy that I woke up today at all. And then make some art and have some fun. Like, eat some chicken. See where the day goes. Ah! Amazing Amy says, I'm working on my wire wall with pegboards. Ah! Oh my gosh! Can I zoom in this way? I can zoom in this way! Wire. That's one of my favorite things. There's been a bunch of different things that we've done with the craft room, but having my, like, bead wall and the wire right there next to it has been so nice. Well, it is only 4:21, you guys, and I'm putting the final wraps on the back side of our little planet pendant. Who's this, the Gooby? That's okay. Can I ask what kind of kiln you have? Does it take 220 volts or is it a 110 like normal electric? We have two kilns. One is 220. That's the one that's like here on this wall behind me. We've got that electrical outlet has a 220 volt option. So the kiln that's like right there on the other side of the wall. Both of these kilns plug into there. And then we have another kiln that's all of my kilns are Paragon brand. Just because I like them. Like, of all the kilns that I like them a lot. And the Paragon CS16S is the 220 volts. And the CS is for clamshell. Let me just show you. I'm going to take you guys real quick. So, I'm coming in, baby. So this is my bead kiln. It does not get hot enough to do fusing without, like, pushing it to its absolute limits. I'm so bad. I don't need to be putting... If there's a surface... Look at the fruit that Randy made me, y'all, by smashing nuggies on the porch. It's in the vlog. You should go watch it. So the clamshell... This is the heating element on the inside. Something that I like about the Paragon is it's very, very nice. It's not just the ceramic fiber. Like, I didn't want a kiln that was just made mostly of this stuff because it gets dirty, and then what? I liked the hard casing of the Paragon kilns. In the clamshell, I liked that you can set all your stuff in there. You can see we've got like kiln shelves, and we've got molds over here. And so we can load it up. We can go pretty deep in it, but you don't want to be hitting the thermostat that's poking through there. And this isn't like sponsored or anything, that would completely make my day. But yeah, you can see my house is filthy. Let's draw a smiley face. Filthy. So I like to be able to, I'll just use the vacuum attachment and like, yep. And then there's that one. And then we're going to come in here. Don't judge me. This is my room of darkness and filth and hoarding and naked people and hoarding. So this is the CS14S. And so the difference is it's a clamshell, just like the other one, but it's a 14-inch base instead of a 16-inch base. And I can do just about all the same things in this one as what I could do in the other kiln. It's a little shallower, so I can't stack it as deep. And it's, you know, a little smaller, so I can't do full sheet melts in it. But just about everything else, I can fit as many molds, I can do everything that needs done. And this one has a Sentinel programmer, which I really like, the Touch Express, as opposed to the Sea Dog. He's a good big doggy all the time. Look at that dog, and me such a good dog. And he scratches little ears. He scratches little schnoz. Oh, yeah, this one is a Century Express, which is the same programmer that we have over here. And honestly, I like the Sentinel better. I like the touchscreen. It's really nice and convenient. Ow. Tripping on my couch. Yep. Which stone should we wrap next, you guys? Welcome back, Christina. Gray says, goals for when I buy a house, I will blow a fuse here. Well, yeah, they do make electrical demands. He is such a sweet doggy. He's my friend. I love him. All right, we're gonna flip this around again, and then I'm gonna show you guys what stones we have to choose from, and hopefully you'll be able to help me pick which one we should wrap next. I'm going to be doing it in the same color scheme just because that's the wire that I have in front of me. But yeah, we had exactly a half an arm span left of the 26 gauge wire. So I really probably only needed like 6 feet. From the air to I'm thinking maybe 6 feet is so far down. Sorry. Yeah, maybe we only need 6 feet instead of 7 or 8, you know? I'm just doing the last couple of coils here. Hey, Lita, how's it going? Yes, well, we have one that's a black aventurine. It's got a nice shimmer and sparkle in it. And then we have these 3. Ooh, okay. We'll do the orange one. We have these 3 that have some really nice swirling that have a little bit of blue aventurine in them. The orange one that looks like the sun, and then another little green swirly. So we'll do the orange because it looks like the sun. Ooh, Lita says, I'm late to the game. Can you fill me in on the move? Well, Randy and I are going to be moving to the Huntsville, Alabama area in October, unless some insurmountable obstacle derails us, but we are ready, and it is time. You know, longtime watchers of the channel probably have seen us. I don't want to call it deteriorating. I don't want to call it devolving, but we used to want, you know, oh, we want 200 acres. And then we were like, we want 20 acres. And now we're like, we can get 2 acres, and it feels wonderful. I'm so excited. The property is 2 acres. In a nice, like, not busy area of town, because like right here we're on like a really busy street. There's literally a business like right across the way, Oh, Kathy. Oh, and I'll have to put a little planet. I meant to do that on this one and I forgot. So let me go grab my beads. But I'm excited. We're going to be about 20 minutes away from Randy's dad. And it's a bigger house than the one we currently live in. And it's on 2 acres instead of a quarter of an acre. And it's at home. Like, and I'm just excited. I'm excited to go home. Ooh, one of the swirlies. Okay. Do, 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 do. Hey, Bodega, how's it going? We are making some planet pendants and talking shop, little business Q&A. Also, I'm getting the 28 gauge because I just think it gives, like here you can kind of see just side by side. This is 28 gauge and this is 26 gauge. So let me go grab that. Sprouted says you can do a ton on 2 acres. Just don't expect to run cattle. Exactly. Yeah, we're not going to be keeping any livestock beyond chickens, you know, just the small flock that I usually have. Because I told myself it's like just because we're moving to what will be our forever home doesn't mean I'm going to suddenly have more free time. So I don't need to be taking on a bunch more like new projects. Like I'm not going to get goats. I'm not going to get a cow. Like I could technically, like legally, I can have 1 head of cattle per acre, you know, but though I don't know if that counts for goats. I was reading their jurisdiction rules, but it's just, we'd like to turn the whole 2 acres into a sculptural botanical garden that we can make our dragons and have them like on display and stuff and just kind of, you know, have space to do all the things we've wanted to do here but haven't had space for. We're going to have Randy's orchard on the upper acre, quite possibly. Digging green, yes! I'm pulling up my compression socks. I don't mean to be so irresistible. Okay, so again, that was a great amount of wire. And Nakey spool. How many rooms does the house have? You know, I'm uncertain. We're going to go and look at the house in early July and quite potentially do some renovating and stuff. We don't know. That's like a whole month away. But it's going to be pretty wicked. And so also just because of production purposes, like I don't even know for certain how many does it have. I think it has 1 bathroom for sure, definitely, and then maybe a 2nd bathroom. Honestly, I would just move there and live in the yard. It's fine. I'm just so excited to get back home and back around friends and family. Because our local friends, we had some friends, we are expecting a video tour. We'll see what we can do. But our local friends who moved out this way from where we used to live in Tennessee are moving back to the Huntsville, Alabama area as well. Like we had no idea about that until we were like, hey, we're going to be moving. And they were like, oh, us too. Oh my God. Y'all want to see these really beautiful clouds? Swamp. Look at those clouds. Ignore how filthy my window is, but look at those clouds. It's just such a beautiful day. I cannot even hardly stand it. But yeah, they're just popping off. They're just showing off. Like, I think I have that information somewhere, but I don't know. We were gonna, in July, we're gonna get measurements of all the rooms. And we'll start laying out the floor plan to see what will be able to fit where all the plugs are in the walls, things like that. Right? And then our other local friends are moving up to where their family is, 2 hours north in Kansas City, which it's only an hour and a half plane ride, I think they were saying, from Huntsville Airport to the Kansas City Airport. So we'll still probably get to see them just as much as what we currently do, even though we live locally, because we see them maybe thrice a year, if we're lucky. Like, Randy and I are pretty, not to brag, but we're hermits. We never leave our house if we can help it. Bodega says, you mentioning July is about a month away made me think, but really, what really is time to a person with ADHD? Exactly. It's a construct. It's a future Vaughn problem. But I am excited about it, though. Amir says, I'd drive you, says Christina. Oh, I love you for it. And we might take you up on it. We might take you with us. But I'm just excited. It's Randy and I've been kind of champing at the bit to get on with our life we've been wanting to move for 10 years. And time after time, either the property would get sold before we could go look at it. You know, because the difficulty is that we're 9 hours away from where we want to be. So we'd find a place, and either the bank's like, no, we're not giving you any money. You silly hippie, go get a real job and we'll give you some money maybe then. Or the properties would sell before we could even go look at them to see if they were viable. And, I'm still going to do the arm span and a half. So about 7.5, maybe 8 feet, because the 26 gauge is thinner. Oh my God. Lita says, I think a group of us should show up at your house with gallons of paint and just paint it all different colors. So whenever you leave, they have something beautiful to look at. Oh. Well, it's really sweet of you guys, but I'm pretty sure this house is going to get sold to a developer and they're going to bulldoze it and put up 2 duplexes. Or like put up a business or something, because it is zoned for residential and commercial. But instead of y'all coming out here with gallons of paint, we'll have you come out there and we'll all just have a camp along again. Alabama has some prime camping spots. It really does. That's actually where we had our very first camp along. All right, so now we've got 18 gauge wire as our core wire. Oh no! A Mirror says, one of my favorite skirts I should not have worn while cleaning. It's like olive green and now there's an orange spot like I got bleach on it. Oh no! Well, it sounds like you need to do a reverse tie-dye by tying it up and then bleaching it on purpose. A Cat Wise house? What's it? Is that the lady who makes those wonderful crocheted like jackets and fashion? 2 acres does hold a lot of tents. But yeah, I'm scared because I got so comfortable being uncomfortable here at this house with just the different things. Like this past winter, we didn't have running water for, I can't remember if it was 38 or 39 days, but it was too many days. And my brain just like scrubs it like it never happened. Like that stress never existed. And I'm like, no, don't just be, control alt deleting and getting rid of, my memories of things that I don't want to have to go through again. 39 days. Thank you, Kathy. But it's just, Randy and I will really put up with a lot just because, we're happy in general anyways. It's really easy to put up with worldly things when we feel so blessed. It's just the stress of managing a meat suit and the mortal coil. But I'm really ready to go home. I'm really ready to get to see the family more than just a couple times a year. How many precious handfuls of times will I get to see the friends that I love? I'm ready. I'm ready to, scared as I might be, I'm ready to take the risk. And it wouldn't have been without one of my precious friends. Without them, we wouldn't have even had this opportunity. So it's just, it feels very meant to be. And I'm going to give it a go. Because even, whatever may come, at least we'll be closer back to home. Grace says, yes, Kat is the one who originated the crazy sweater coats. You should look up her house sometime. I think I still follow her on Instagram, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. But she had such an amazing, like, colorful, her whole home was just a work of art. So Randy and I are going to quit our day jobs of being artists and become bricklayers, maybe? Or at least that's what our current YouTube, if you looked at our watch history, we have been watching so many videos about bricklaying and different things because I want to learn how to build like brick structures for the garden. Because I don't know why, I just have it in my mind that stones are the bones of the earth. And it's like the bones of the garden are the structures that even in the dead of winter or in the burnt up heat of summer, they're the rigid structures that still remain, that the rest of the garden kind of will grow up and be built around. Oh my God, cat, right? You could build a kiln? Yeah. Well, I want to make brick pathways. I want to make stepping stones. We want to do concrete cast stuff. And it's just, and Randy and I were talking about it. And sometimes I forget that it was just our childhoods and teenage years, but there was still a whole life that we had before we knew each other. And so we were laying in bed and I was like, what do you know of bricklaying? And then we had like an hour-long conversation, it seemed, of like all the experience that he has with making, not making bricks, but with whenever he was taking his basically shop classes, and like doing bricklaying and learning about that. And I'm just really excited to give it a try and to give it a go because I want to make like garden walls instead of fences. I don't know. We want to turn our new home into an absolute work of art and to just, that's what we want to do with our free will this time around. Hubby just got home. He got you more ravioli beads. Oh, good man. Do 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 do. Oh my goodness, I'm having such a. Come on, Vaughn. We can do this. You spin me right round. You buy the land, you buy the stones, you buy the meat, you buy the bones. Wow. So it makes sense. Or with bricks, could make one of those barbecue pits, I think they call them. Yes. It's just, it's going to be really cool because I want to build like brick decks and stuff. And the bottom portion of the house is brick too. So I think it will help tie everything in together. And that's the thing too. Gray, you were saying, I'm so sick of winters and living in a 200-year-old house that is in so much need of work to be done. I am cold all the time. Dude, I understand what you're saying because our house was built in 1905. But it's like it would be really nice to live in a more modern home. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super impressed with anything that I've seen built in the past 10 to 15 years, like just because of the black mold and stuff alone. But the house that we're moving to was built, I think, in the 1970s, and it's got good bones and it's brick, and it's like one of my most magical and beautiful friends lives there. And so I just want to turn all of those like artistic visions, if that makes sense, into a reality on this property. Yes, you need something from the 50s to 70s. Gotcha, Gray. Got a little kiddie pool for my container garden. Oh, Isis, mommy, that's so fun. Where are you gonna, little kiddie pool what are you gonna do with that? Because that sounds very interesting. You know, we'll fix it up, right? You got this craft along coat. Yes. La da 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 da. La, da, 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 da. But yeah, with Sassy Cat, Randy would like a barbecue pit. His grandpa made one out of cinder blocks, but I bet we could make one with cinder blocks that has like brick veneer, perhaps, or make it look very. I just want to cover everything with Celtic knotwork and like swirls and flowers and stuff. So, and then of course make a YouTube video out of it. That way, it's a business barbecue pit. Fill it with dirt. Gotcha. Nice. Oh, that's going to be really cool. Yeah, Kathy says, in my opinion, new construction is expensive and not done very well. Materials are poor quality. That does seem to be the case a lot of the time. Now, I'm saying this based purely off of the cookie cutter homes that I lived in whenever I was in high school down in Texas, but then also just seeing how they hold up over the years. And it's like, I don't know what's going on, that like the black mold is such a problem in so many new builds. So, oh yes, a pizza oven. I would love that so much. And the thing is Randy and I never make homemade pizza, but I still want a a brick fired, like a fire powered brick pizza oven. So we'll see how it goes. A Mare says, my uncle made a fire pit grill when I was a kid, cinder blocks and firestone. I think it's crumbling now, but I'm 40. It must be 30 years old. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Randy's grandpa, I don't know if the building was already there, or like if the barbecue shed was already there, or if he built it for the barbecue pit. But it's undercover and it has held up really well. Hey, welcome back, Kitsune. A smoker, the best barbecue. Yes. Pit smoked barbecue. I've got a spider mite problem and pretty much killed most of my plants. Oh no, trying to get rid of them, so I'm going to start over. I lost a lemon tree to spider mites once. I never knew what to do with it. Uh-oh, I don't need to be doing that. So we can see this one's got a little bit of a... I don't need to be going across there. I need to go behind. Because really, Randy's not going to be mad at me if I only get like 4 things made for the art show. I'm just so afraid of... We've got everything riding on... You know, usually with our booth, like, all the stuff that Randy makes is in there too. So it's not all on me. And Randy's helping me with everything, but if I don't get a dragon head done, then we don't have it. Like... But he's not going to be upset with me if I don't get very much made. I just need to make some art. Like, it's going to be okay. I don't know why I get so freaked out about this art show. I guess maybe because it's new and different. It's scary. But yeah, I don't even think I'm going to be competing in the costume contest at this rate. Which is okay. Okay. I hope that works out for you. And Mammer says, this is a 12,500 piece chainmail kit. What? Anything that I'm going to have in the art show, I need to have made and uploaded to their online portal by June 12th. But then the actual event is the 19th through 21st, I think. It's called SoonerCon in Norman, Oklahoma. They have an art show that has like a silent auction and bidding and stuff. And we're going to be doing that. I'm so spoiled. So glad I made sure he came home to a clean house. It's an Amazon kit, perfect for starting out. Right on. Well, hey, Miss Gina, how's it going? Ooh, Kathy says, I sent you an email about adjusting the shipping for my 2 orders from today. Right on, Kathy. I'm going to ask Randy to get on that. In the same way, we always feel that we have to have something new for every event. Oh, I see the problem. No last second stuff. Yes. Yes, and that's like where I thrive, is in the 2 weeks before an event. I mean, thrive is a strong term. It's a lot of panicking. Oh, right on. Nettles for spider mites. I'm gonna do 4 wraps on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do 5 just because that's where my wire was. Grey Cat says same. I always get the most done in that panic mode. Go ADHD powers. Kathy says, but you busted out those dragons so fast. I did. But it hurts me to do that. Like, it takes me weeks to recover in my elbow and my shoulder to push like that. Mostly from the painting. Because there's a whole lot of, like, just going like this, of, like, using the sponge. And that, like, this muscle here, the one that you can see wiggling, where it connects around in here is where it hurts so bad. And it's nothing that taking a couple days off doesn't fix, but then as soon as I get back at it and overdo it, it's hurting again. So trying to figure out how to, burn the candle at both ends with a fire lit in the middle without, experiencing burnout. Ooh, Lita says, I've been watching your chainmail videos. We have a huge watermelon market in June, and I really want to have my chainmail front and center. Ooh! Yeah, it's tennis elbow, which again, as according to what the internet says, you just got to give it a break. And it's like, well, that's too damn bad. Keep digging. Like, so, uh-oh. But oh, y'all, we sent Maddie a whole bunch. Randy parceled out enough scales for her to make 2 scale mail tops in each color. So we've got Maddie on production for Dragon Con, so thank goodness for that, because she weaves really good scale mail. And so that's phenomenal. And then Randy's been keeping busy. So I just hope that I can keep up. I just don't want to let Randy down. I don't want to let Maddie down. I don't want to let future me down. I don't want to let y'all down. And so we're just going to have to chill out. Because this stress is no good, Ooh. Cassily says, I have a version of tendinitis that just vitamins help with, but I had stopped taking them for a while. Family and life stress stuff, gotcha. Now I'm feeling the pain back in a brace. What vitamins, I wonder? I forgot to add the planet again. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, what size planet do we like to use? That's just a little 3mm, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Well, hey, Taryn, how's it going? Gray says, I'm doing a tattoo convention with my chainmail next month. So anxious to see how it goes. And then an anime convention and a Comic-Con. So much to do. Ooh, busy, busy. That's going to be great, though. Good luck to you. Mega Complex B, C, and E. Gotcha. Is that a good spot for the little planet, or should we do it? You know what? That's just where it is. We're just going to go with the roll. Or go with the flow. Yeah. Thank you, Gray. And just as a reminder to anyone and everyone coming into chat, if ever you are following along with one of our tutorials or anything like that, please do feel free to sell your designs, baby. Get that money, make that bread. Like, I love it when folks, refer back to us, or you'll recommend if somebody, the only thing we ask is that if somebody asks you, oh my God, how did you make this? If you could point them either show them how to make it or point them back in the direction of our tutorials. That way we can spread the love of crafting. But other than that, that's it. Go forth and make that money. Day job super duper cut into crafting time for sure. Really, Christina says, apparently too much vitamin B is a thing. Well, hot dog. I've been trying to just eat more out of the garden because I figure that's got to be good for me. So yesterday I was eating cottage cheese with just standing in the garden, picking sugar snap peas off the plants, knocking the the flower buds off the end, and just eating peas and cottage cheese for lunch. Yeah, food should be the medicine if possible. That's what I'm aiming for. Ooh, Casilli says that's super comforting to hear, Vaughn. I'm a maker, not a designer, so I've been a bit afraid to sell stuff sometimes. I can only speak for myself, but I didn't invent wire wrapping. I didn't invent chainmail. I didn't invent any of this stuff. And so to design something, even whenever it feels like I haven't seen anyone else do planets on groovy cabs, but I still don't feel the confidence to be like, this is my design. Because I'm like, no, it's not. I didn't invent groovy cabs. I didn't invent fused glass. I didn't invent wire. I didn't invent the, weaving technique, like none of it. Like, I'm just putting it together and having fun. And so, but if I make a tutorial about it, and if somebody follows along with it, that's yours now. You bought that wire, you bought or made the stone, you put in the hard work, you're the one setting up the booth, you're the one going out and doing the thing. And so other than I feel like the only thing that's mine is the video tutorial that I produced and the actual physical pendant. Like everything else is just getting tangled up in pride on whether or not, oh, that's my design. And it's like, I don't have the energy for that whole thought process or, state of mind. And so, yeah, go forth and make the money. Kathy says, I wouldn't have bothered with the cottage cheese. Oh, I love cottage cheese. Cottage cheese with some salty sunflower seeds in it without the shells. My favorite. Lita says, sometimes I have ideas of my own, but more or less I'm a maker too. Wanda says, you call the small bead a planet, but I think it should be called a moon. Astro Nerd Wanda. It's not a moon, it's a space station. But no, yeah, I misspoke. It's a little moon because it's orbiting a planet. 3 vitamins along with D, which I had to stop for other issues. Gotcha. Ooh, never put seeds in my cottage cheese. Yum. Oh, cottage cheese in your eggs. Hmm. Oh, Kitsune says, I would be nowhere if you didn't do your Dragon Eye and Cabochon tutorials. I remember being a little high schooler and seeing your Eye of Sauron tutorial and being filled with wonder and awe. Oh, that's a lot of fun. And it's anytime that I have something that I feel like, I think I came up with this on my own, I'll Google it and it's like, nope, clearly I must have seen it somewhere. So I don't even I don't even spend any energy on, thinking that, because if I'm going to get bummed out as soon as I see somebody else who did something similar, then I just didn't want to nurture that part of myself. Now, I don't have anything against people who do consider themselves designers and who are a little more, you know, I can't think of a nice term of it, about their designs, like protective, I guess, about their designs. Then it's like, okay, that's fair. That's their right, but all I can do is know thyself and try to, function within my, is it being neurotic? Is that the term? Just know what causes me anxiety and just, function around that. Are we up to 2 moons now? There was a gal having a hissy fit because Lan An demoed a style of wire wrap tree. She claimed that she invented the design and it was a copy with trademarked. Yeah, well, we've actually had Lan An has reproduced a design that our fractal wrap, like our video was doing really well, and then Lan An came out with one too, and I remember feeling a little like, what? Like, what is this? Like, and then it was, because and I was just like, what even is happening right now? Like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I don't want to have that in my heart, whenever it's like, I felt like such a hypocrite and such, like, I felt all poopy about myself. Because Lan An does really good tutorials. If they're protective about their design, they probably shouldn't show tutorials on how to make them. That's a good point. I'm hungry now, says Wolfpack. Ooh, cottage cheese and fresh tomatoes. But no, it's whenever I had experienced that I was like, I don't want to be that way. Just because I'm never going to be able to keep other creative folks from, like, nobody can stop me from pursuing my creativity. Are you kidding me? Why would I want to try to put a glass over somebody else's flame just because of my pride or my ego or, being, wanting to keep my paycheck high if I could help it? And there's enough abundance and success out here for everybody. I love that Lan An's doing what she's doing because it's putting wire wrapping in front of more people. It's, she teaches in a way that is different than the way that I teach, but the way that I teach isn't great for everybody, So it's the more people we have out there teaching and spreading the good word of crafting, quite frankly, the better it is for all of us, whether we sell handmade things, whether we teach handmade things, whether we make supplies. Like, when I did the tutorial on how to groove your own cabochon, it's, so folks will be like, well, aren't you worried about, pardon me, aren't you worried about, other people stealing your designs? And I'm like, I can only groove 30 cabochons a week before my hands are hurting. And to the point that I can't really work on anything else. I need other people to be grooving cabochons. That way, groovy cabochons get more popular. That way, I've got more potential customers who are looking for grooved cabochons. So it's, yeah. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm choking over here. But everybody's got a right to their opinion, and to how they feel and their perspective on things. So I try to not hold it against folks whenever I see them having a full-on meltdown on social media because somebody ripped off their design. Fun fact, Lan An doesn't sell her work. Wow. I had no idea. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's much easier on my hand to be using the 28 gauge as opposed to the 26 gauge wire. But it's anytime that I see somebody behave in a certain way on social media, though, sometimes I'll be like, I'm just gonna disengage. Because, like, when a person seems real volatile, it's like, I don't want to be at the butt end of that. But that's just how I am as a person. Like, if somebody's being a butt, I make myself rare and get out of there. Ooh, Barbie says, I think the 28 gauge looks sleeker. Right on. Oh, no. Okay, I shouldn't laugh, but Isis Mommy is hilarious. Says, I don't sell my work either, but not by choice. Shit. That's rough. Oh. Ooh, Jan says, for your pain in your joints, get some bee venom. It works the best and fast. Ooh, how do you apply that? Do you eat it? Do you rub it on? Do you just get stung by the bees? Ooh, Jasmine says, okay, I'll see you then. Be there in a bit. Okay, I don't know. Hey, Jasmine, how's it going? Um, but, in hindsight, the thing that I've enjoyed the most with the business has been finding ways to kind of be able to do whatever the heck I want, and still being like, I am working. This is business. I am working. Like, we've gotten to go to conventions. We've gotten to go to Ren fairs. I've gotten to dress up as a fairy, and a satyr and do all sorts of fun shenanigans. I've gotten to teach flow art classes. Like, teaching's probably my favorite. I love going to the events and stuff, but really, if I can go and teach as well, that checks all of my boxes. Okay, I'm going to be right back, you guys. So I shall see thee upon my return. Yeah. Alrighty, y'all. I am back. Oh, then. Thank you so much for your kindness. La da 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 dun, dun, dun. All right, I just needed to get some Wawa. Well, thank you. What did I miss? So we still have oh almost it's like 2/3 of an arm span left of the 28 gauge. Hydrate so you don't dehydrate. But yeah, I like crafting. It clears my mind because I get real stressed and grumpy when I'm sitting around waiting to start a project, like thinking about things and stuff. I think that's probably why I was getting so fussy about the molds this morning is, I've been ruminating about them for so long. And then we finally did the unmolding this morning and I get all gunked up on like my fear and my self-criticism and my worries. And then it's like, but then whenever I actually get to crafting, like get out of my own way and just start doing the thing, oh my gosh, that feels like home. That feels like happy. Well, thank you, Taryn. And so, in trying to have like moments of reflection of like, okay, what have I learned? That I don't need to be, because I don't want to take these bad habits with me to Alabama, of feeling super stressed, of feeling like I don't have a work-life balance, of, feeling kind of disappointed in myself that, this isn't that way or that isn't this way or and then whenever I just get to crafting, everything feels so much clearer. It feels so much simpler. When in doubt, craft it out. So there's 4 wraps. And then coming through here, I'm just going to bend that one back a little bit. And it's kind of like on a tiny scale, I get to practice what I want to happen on a larger scale. So I want to just be able to just trust the process. What was that super high pitch? Like, did you hear that? Ah, okay. So just to take a moment and opportunity of some shameless self-promotion, we have added some new tie-dye to the shop, as well as relisted the tie-dyes from, like, we pulled everything down for vending, and we had made some tie-dyes and never listed them, and those are now listed. So all the tie-dye is now up to date at our shop, backtoearthcreations.com/tie-dye. There should be a link down in the video description. And you can use coupon code HappyCrafter to get 10% off if you're in a shopping mood. Tom says you can't learn or start new skills. Oh, but I gotta learn how to weld and be a bricklayer and cast stuff out of concrete. Started making gemstone elastic bracelets. Since finding you, I'm doing everything. Well, it's fun though, isn't it? Ooh, what if you were to put a moon on the weaving wire so that it is in between the rings? Ooh, that would be worth a shot. I mean, I don't know if it's astronomically correct, but I don't think these are astronomically correct pendants. Now, I think the thing I'm trying to learn right now is to how to just let myself be at peace and craft. And fortunately, that's a thing learnt by doing, and crafting is very conductive to finding inner peace and crap. And also new, fresh, exciting ways of getting frustrated. You know, I wanted to raise Angora rabbits, but I'm allergic to rabbits. But I do have some of the stuff I had intended to learn how to spin yarn, or spin wool into yarn, rather. And I've got a drop spindle that I've never even used. Like, not in any serious sense. Oh, the bodega says, if you learn how to cast stuff out of concrete, I'll order at least one gargoyle from you for our house. I love my pet rocks. Ooh, excuse me. Well, astronomically, the rings are billions of small moons, ice particles, so between the ring borders would be fine. Right on. No, I love my lion head so much. Being allergic sucks. I do love bunnies. And I still kept rabbits for years. But they weren't rabbits that needed daily attention to their grooming. In that way, I would just strategize when I would take my allergy pill. And then I'd go and I'd cuddle with the rabbits and then just come inside and immediately shower. Because, like, I could do okay so long as I didn't touch my face at all. But I'm really bad at not touching my face. Like, if I get my hands into something, I'm about to stick it in my eyeballs. Like, 100%. Terrence says I have roving that I need to make into yarn. Well, the good thing is that I think roving doesn't go bad, as long as it's stored well. I put off learning for so long thinking it was hard, but it's really not. Oh, drop spindling? Okay. I think I put it off because I was like, I want to learn this from a friend. Like, have a little bit more of the hands-on. And I have a friend who spins. And so I think part of me's kind of quietly been patiently waiting to learn how to spin from her. Unless you get bugs in it. Ooh, uh-oh. What about silky chickens? Oh, I love silky chickens. Can you make yarn out of silky chicken feathers? Like, but no, I love chickens. I wonder if silkies do well in northern Alabama. Because that's something that none of my hens have had to really put up with any serious humidity, but they make it through the heat pretty well. Okay. Was there a channel in particular that you would recommend? But yeah, I've found the belly dance troupe that I want to take classes at their studio, because they offer, I always, anytime I join a new studio, I always start with their beginner classes, just to learn the vocabulary and, the fundamentals of what they're doing. And one of my old friends from the convention circuit that we used to see performs, dances and performs with the troupe. So that'll be really cool to get to reconnect with her. In Huntsville, I've already found a drum jam that apparently happens weekly that I'd like to go to, meet some folks and stuff. I don't know if I'll be able to go every week, but just that it happens more often, I might be able to make it like once a month. And then I've found a couple of teachers that I'd like to take guitar lessons from. And I've also found a few stables that I would like to be able to take riding lessons at. And all of these are like just so, like, here in Missouri, we were having to drive an hour each way to go to belly dance class. And I went for like a whole year, and it just wasn't sustainable having to drive all that way. And it was really hurting me to do. Have you found a new horse refuge to volunteer at too? Not a horse refuge. There is a sanctuary near us, but they haven't posted anything recently. But I know that at the very least, I will have a couple of stables to choose from as far as taking riding lessons at. But I didn't go to the horse sanctuary this week. Uh, the lady who runs it had to cancel, but last week was a lot of fun. Getting to go and volunteer, and I plan on going back next week if she's got work for me. I really like, actually, I'm not super interested in riding as much as I am in on ground like liberty and just like learning the horses. Um, like building that communication with the horse and interacting with them and stuff. I just basic, like, probably Western style riding. Like, the most I would want to do is go on trail rides. I'm not super interested in like being competitive in anything. So, like, jumping and dressage, I'd like to learn it. But mounted archery is probably, of all the things that I'm interested in doing mounted up, that's something that it's mounted archery would be really cool. Which I found an archery club in Huntsville as well. What is Alabama like? I've never really been south of Pennsylvania. A week in Florida doesn't count. Gotcha. It's beautiful. It's more of the misty mountains of like the Appalachian, like the fog and stuff. The whole place just breathes like a tropical jungle or temperate jungle. With the humidity, it is so, so humid. The cicadas can drown out your thought. They're so loud. We're not far enough south that the trees have the old man beard moss growing out of them, but we're as close to the swamp as I'd want to get. And it's just beautiful. In the fall, whenever you go walking through the woods, all the mushrooms and things that you see, like the whole place, every rock has moss and lichen growing on it. Everything is just thrumming with life in Alabama and Tennessee. And it's a lot, honestly. It's just like Southern Ohio, but a bit different and more humid. Um, wow. Barbie says, before my cancer, I showed saddlebreds and did lessons for beginners. Oh, right on. Like Merida from Brave. A bit, yeah. I was thinking more like the Mongolian mounted archery is where I first got exposed to it. Um, but yeah, I want to be able to in the dystopian future that I visualize, I want to be able to like have a falcon because I want to do falconry as well that can like take down drones, and I want to be able to get them with the bow and arrow. I live in my own delusions in fantasies and stuff, but if I could make a video game, it would be mounted archery simulator where you have to defend, your underground fallout shelter from alien drones or something. Yes, you do actually. Well, hey, from Croatia. Wow. Bodega says, wait, Misty Mountains? Do we need to worry about dwarves, caverns deep and caverns old? Yep. And dragons that'll set the whole soggy hill on fire. But no, I remember the first time I ever saw driving up through 231, 431 is the highway. We were coming from Texas and then we came up through Huntsville into Fayetteville, and just the way that like the highway was cut into the cliffs on either side. Keep in mind, I had been in Texas for 3 years. Like, and it had just rained enough that there were literal waterfalls coming off of these that to my eye they were cliffs. They're just low hills now after living there for the years that we did. But it was so beautiful. Like, I cried. I was like, Randy, thank you for bringing me here. And then we lived there for about a decade before coming out here to Missouri. 8 or 9 years. A falcon that could take down drones would be amazing. I think I'd seen a video of it online, but I don't know if anything that I see online is actually real. So, it's fun and it feeds my imagination, but I want to go do more around other people. It enriches the experience. And I didn't quite realize that until I was started volunteering at the horse sanctuary and just getting to watch somebody else's, because I love watching tutorials, because I love watching people's hands work and do things. And then to get to see somebody's hands working like in real time, like right there next to me, like a stranger's hands, because I had just met the woman. She, I feel like she's my friend now, but we had just met, and just seeing her work the tack, like work with the, like demonstrating to me how to do things, and it's like I just want to watch more people's hands work. Like I gotta go be around other crafters. I didn't know that I can live farther from the beach where I am now, about an hour and a half. I grew up on the ocean in Maine and I miss it so much. Oh, really? What were some of your favorite things? Like, what were the beaches like there? Like sandy or stony or. I get that, Gray. That's amazing, though, Barbie. About the saddlebreds. Pliers slipped. That's okay. I'm just going to come in here as close to the tip of the wire and as close to the tip of the pliers as I can. I'm just going to swirl in and make just another little swirly. Alrighty, so now we have at least 3 to choose from. Which one should we do next? One of these blue aventurine swirlies, perhaps? Ah! Jadranka says, definitely need to live near the sea. My name, Jadranka, means Adriatica. Got named because my dad missed the sea. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. The beaches are mostly rocky, but there are sections that are sandy. I won't swim in the ocean, it's too cold. But I love sitting where I can see the waves. The sound of the ocean just soothes me. Oh, nice. The big one? With the sparkle? Well, hey, Diane, how's it going? The blue wavy one. So this one? Barbie says it is the thing I miss the most. Once you ride, it's in your blood and bones. Oh, yeah, I can believe that. It's been so long since I've ridden. I'd only gone on like a trail ride. Like I think I've been on 2 trail rides my whole life, and that's all the riding I've ever done. But I love being around horses. Like going and volunteering at the sanctuary has been just amazing. Just because, to get to be learning and getting to be around the horses and to groom them. They've got so much character. Like, one of the horses, his name is Captain, and he's only got 2 teeth in his whole head. Nobody knows how old he is, but he was horribly abused at his previous home. So he had all sorts of gastrointestinal, and, the sanctuary was worried that they were going to have to give up on him. Excuse me. But he's doing good. His gut's getting right, and he's getting to where he'll actually come up and he'll eat a biscuit out of your hand. Like you got to use one of the really soft, like horse cookies, because the whole lack of teeth, and one of them's on the top and one of them's on the bottom, and they're not on the same side, so they're not even working together. Oh, Grace says, my mom says when I was really little, she had a friend who took me riding all the time. I wish I could remember it. Oh, wow. The top left wavy one. Okay. But, I just love getting to be around the horses. And I really like horse people so far. Like, and how do I explain that? If a person is into horses, they are not afraid of hard work and they're good listeners.
Centaurs.
Randy goes, they're called centaurs? No. But, oh, I don't have any horses of my own, but for like 3 months now, 2 or 3 months now, I've been volunteering at a local horse sanctuary that I had no idea existed. Um, yeah, that seems to be the case. And it's just, I don't know, I like hanging out with them. So typically, if you like horses, we've got enough in common to be absolute best friends. Um, so we do have a whole tutorial on this design. So if I'm just breezing through it, don't worry, we've got a whole tutorial. I have a soft spot for mean little ponies, goats, and bunnies. Yeah. Well, I just love animals anyhow. Like, they all have their personalities and some of them are butts, but I still love them. Right on, Gray. The reality of it is, for those of y'all who've met me, you can probably confirm, I just don't leave my craft room unless it's for horses or camping. Oh my God. I train dogs. I have a Caucasian Shepherd mini donkey dog. Wow. My bunny bites me at least once a week and I die for her. That's called Stockholm Syndrome. Well, hey, Wesley. How's it going? It feels like it's been a while. How have you been? So, and again, I just bend them with my pliers off to the side. And I kind of like, I don't know, a little bit of a loop-de, like, do you ever see the sitcom show Third Rock from the Sun? How in the intro the planets are hula hooping with some of the ones with rings. And so I like having a whoo, like a nice little. Gray Cat says that's about the only thing I leave the house for too. LOL. Thankfully the day job is remote too. Nice. Her name is Carmel. She's white with the brown markings. Oh, some horse people are nasty. One year, William Shatner was showing in the same class I was in. He turned out to be so hateful, not only to people, but he didn't treat his horse very nice either. No! Not William Shatner. Well, yeah. I mean, people are people wherever you go. But, boo. Yeah, for reals. Oh, well, I'm sorry you experienced that, Barbie. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to come in here. I hope my wire is long enough. Ooh, Wesley says busy, busy, busy. Got 85% of my business stuff done. Gotta find insurance. Nice. Are you looking for like vending insurance or? Hmm. That's wild though to be showing in that same class. Then I'm going to wrap those two around. And then I'm just going to come through. And I'm just going to test and see if I like doing just not a lazy figure eight, because I don't think there's anything lazy in crafting. You're still doing the thing. But just a single beat. Oh, I suck at this one. That's okay. Okay. And the reason why I say I suck at it is, let's see. So then it scooches down, and it's just a little poofier there than what I want it to be. So that's why I like to do the tension control of weaving once and then a second time, and then going across. So there's one, and then the second time coming across. One, second, one, second, and then I just come across, whoop, like so. One, two. Well, I wanted to let you all know, if you enjoy hanging out in our live streams, we're going to be live streaming again tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on kick.com. And we send out a streaming link. If you sign up for our free newsletter at backtoearthcreations.com, then you will get notifications anytime we go live, anytime we have a new tutorial. Right on. Oh my gosh, right on. By the way, I love all your creations. I started crafting because of your passion. Oh, it transferred over here. Thank you. It saves me mentally. That makes my day. I'm really glad to be able to be helpful to y'all. I don't like it. Let's come back. I'm just going to squish it a little. Oh, boo. Ah, that sucks. Two, three. So yeah, I just keep looking at this and I'm worried that this one's too short. It does. Ooh, what's your chainmail question, Gray? What's up, baby?
That we buy.
What happened?
Somebody bought it out with
Uh-oh. Okay, so I'm just making that a little shorter. Hopefully that'll end up being okay. And then we're going to go ahead and get this bent around like so. I want to make some wallet chains, but I only have 16 gauge aluminum. Do you think they will hold up okay? Do I really need stainless steel? That's a good question. I personally would not bat an eye at a 16 gauge aluminum wallet chain. I think that would be fine. Well, those are some pretty tie-dyes.
You can show them off if you want.
So Randy wants me to show off these two new tie-dyes that we're sending off to their new homes. I think it would be fine. I would test it. Like if you're super worried, I would test it. But what I would do is I would just make it out of the aluminum. And if you have any customers who are like, oh, I love it, but it needs to be stainless steel. My favorite thing is to hand them a business card and be like, I love to do custom work. We do half payment up front for deposit, like, and just kind of like it segues into, and that's why if I can get something made, it doesn't matter if I can make it in every color or not. I just need to get one of it made, because if somebody's like, oh, I love your necklace, but do you have any in red? I could be like, well, here's my card, and and then like do custom work that way. So yeah, it's Ooh, Wesley says put the aluminum in the tumbler for 45 minutes to an hour to work harden it. That's a really good suggestion too. But yeah, these are the two tie-dyes that Randy just picked to go off to their new home. They have that bag of bricks one, which is just so pretty. And then this is the one personally that catches my eye. That is so pretty. Oh. And this was another one of our cold shoulder tops in those two colors. So thank you, Randy. I'm gonna go give these back to Randy. Right? I love doing tie-dyes, doing those ice tie-dyes especially. that is color split. Kathy says those are from me. Those are color split tie-dyes. So that's with that ice dyeing technique. So how you're talking about you've got a bleach stain on your skirt, depending on if it's cotton, hemp, or rayon, the same dyes that we use would work really well, even in a reverse tie-dye. So you can like bleach it first. But yeah, that's a really great suggestion. Thank you. Thank you, Peace Wolf. Amira says, I was watching your video of ice dyeing from last year. Nice. I hope that those are helpful. Or at the very least, fun to watch. Ooh! Amir says 100% cotton and it's fairy cut from Earthbound. I love it. Yeah, that'll tie-dye up real well. Bye, Bodega. Happy crafting. Why do ice and tie-dye? Well, the way that we do the ice dyeing is we just, instead of mixing the dye as per manufacturer instructions, we go through and we just sprinkle the powder onto the tied piece, and then we put ice on top of that. And as the ice melts and activates different components of the like the ingredients of the dye, the colors will split and kind of like percolate through, almost like a watercolory paint pour. And you just get really, really cool. Like here, let me show you. So where's one? We used 3 colors to dye this skirt right here. Well, yeah, pretty kitty. And so we used marigold, maroon, and sapphire blue. And you can see the way that the colors split and blend with each other. And then whenever we used a waxed sinew to tie the geode lines, that's what gave us these really cool little like lightning bolt style lines in the tie-dye. Sorry, I'm trying to like, well, you know, in this one we didn't use any of the sinew at all. We just layered it on. And so it gives such really cool color and effects, and like up here. And so you'll get just really cool color splits. We have another one that we can show. Like over here, especially this one, I think we did with, thank you, baby, with just one color called Herbaceous. No, this one's Aquascape. But, so we probably used more than one color on this one. But, and so that way, instead of it just being the ties that are leaving a pattern, it's the dyes as well, doing that nice color split. And so, I mean, it just gives such cool effects. My widow queen, my sweet babu. She just hanging out. But yeah, so that's why we use the ice with the tie-dyeing, is to get that cool color split. Aw, she really is such a sweet kitty. Actually, that really makes sense. Right on. And it's just, I don't have to worry about following instructions. I can just like do, like sprinkle and then see what happens. I just made a water mess, found more bleach marks, and realized I should rinse my skirt ASAP. Olive green with bright orange specks. Oh no! A murmur! The kitty toll has been paid, right? But yeah, absolutely love ice tie-dyeing. Especially in that geode style. 3, 4. So we did our 4 wraps and then we're just coming through. Does anybody have any more questions about businessy things? Because I want to be able to be helpful to you guys. Setting a goal to try to make some geode tie-dye this summer. Ooh! Yeah, the waxed sinew makes a really big difference because you want it to, the waxiness of it helps repel moisture, and that way if the water can't get in there, the dye can't get in there. Oh, Wesley says, I'm very allergic to cat dander, so this is really the best way for me to get to visit the kitties. Oh, nice. Well, hey, Bob, how's it going? Like, I'm very excited to be lining up a show schedule whenever we get to Alabama, because it's been a while since I've had to like scope out new shows, and now we actually knocked some of the rust off because we were resigned to, we'll just live here in Missouri for the rest of our lives and we'll just travel back home to see family twice a year, if we're able to keep swinging that, and then, you know, it'll be fine. So let's start doing shows out this way. And so what I did was I just sat down with my notebook, ta-da, and there are many like it, but this one is mine. And I went through, where is it at? This is just one of my brain dump notebooks. Come on, where's it at? I went through and I wrote down like shows near, like craft shows near Carthage, Missouri. Yeah, I can't find it. Maybe it was, here it is. Okay. As soon as I was about to give up. So these were January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and I just left some room on the page. And this is where I wrote down, and I tried to have it be, and I'm not a very tech savvy person, but we had January 4th, Tulsa Anime Fest in Tulsa, Oklahoma. January 10th through 11th, Kansas City Celebrity Comic Con. I don't vend events that just have celebrities in because we have never done well at an event like that because people pay all their money to stand in line and wait all day to get their autographs and stuff. And so we never do very well vending there. For me personally. There's plenty of other vendors who do well, but the more you go out and vend and go out and have boutiques and have your website store and do your social media, the more you will find what works for you. And that's what works. So you've just got to, like, I don't have a coaching program to be able to sell you guys or anything like that. It's, you've just got to go and find what your favorite way is and what works best for you. And it's, but you can do it. Like, if there's a crafter, there's a way. So whether I was interested in doing them or not, like, no, it's you got to trust your gut. If you see a show and you're like, oh, these are some red flags, like if they're like, we only do promotion through social media, they need to be having billboards and street signs and stuff as well. but all the ones that it's like mildly interested in, not just for vending, but also possibly for attending, going like in costume and stuff. Because my goal was at the time of writing all this, because when did I make this plan? Back in October was whenever I was doing this plan for our 2026 vending year, and that's a little late in the year for it. But it's like, if I want to go and teach, and if I want to try to, you know, work with these conventions to be able to do a line of workshops and panels and stuff, I want to at least go to the convention and see if it's pleasant as an attendee. Because if I'm not having fun as an attendee, I don't necessarily want to put in my time and energy and effort with that show. But yeah, January 17th through 18th, Northwest Arkansas Comic Con, and so I go through and I just make a list of anything within however far I'm willing to travel, so like a 2 to 4 hour radius. Now, typically, whenever Randy and I were vending full time and whenever our pets were still young, we like to stay home more. Now that Ember's 19 years old and Z-Dog is 15 years old, so we didn't want to go anywhere that would have to be an overnight trip. With the exclusion of 3 events this year. We had Anime St. Louis was an overnight trip. SoonerCon will be an overnight trip, and then DragonCon is an overnight trip for like a week. But that's okay. But we didn't want to do too many like that, so I was just like, within an hour's drive, we'll vend. And so that means like basically Kansas City's like 2 hours from us, Tulsa's like 2 hours from us. But I just fleshed out the calendar of all the different options and then started looking at them more particularly. Oh, what was your question? Would you mind resharing it, Wesley? Gray says, I found I had to start figuring out what shows in the area other chainmailers and jewelry folks weren't at. You know? That's a good thinking, too. Randy and I are, since we don't just sell jewelry, we also sell our tie-dye and our sculptures. Usually, if there's somebody else, like we were at the Moth Market, we were right up the road from another person who had really amazing chainmail. But we still sold a couple of chainmail pieces, but our wire wrapping did well and our tie-dye did well. So I think you missed the first part of Mama's post. It was a split post. Oh, gotcha. I'm on coffee number 2, says Kathy. But once I've written down all the potential shows, normally whenever we were doing like 30 to 35 a year, I would just apply for all of them and then see what we were able to get into. Because it's like, if they didn't have vendor applications open, or if they were closed, like I just started weeding out the low-hanging fruit of this one. The vendor room's already full. This one, they're charging too much. This one, it's a celebrity con. We're not going to go because I don't think we'll make any money, and there's something the weekend after that I'm going to go ahead and apply for. So, but like, just getting my options on paper in front of me helps me to start just marking them off. Ooh, Wesley says, question for Randy. Any idea what you would charge to make me a whole kiln load of cabs? Maybe 2. That would be a send us an email kind of question. That way, if you can let us know if it's dichro or if it's fused glass, what size and color scheme you're looking for. Because it's going to be different if it's one of these style of glasses versus one of these style of glasses versus one of these style for glasses. Excuse me. Ooh, Barbie says, what sells best for you guys? That's a really good question. Dragon heads, because those are the only thing that we're consistently sold out of. And they break, like, That's probably our best seller. But other than that, earrings, we can always bet on we're gonna make some earring sales. But those earrings are still one of our highest profit margin pieces because it just, even our most intricate earrings, it only takes so long to make. Like, you can only make an earring so big. Like, you can only fit so much materials, in there. Bye bye. See you later, Wolfpack. Um, but the stretchy chainmail bracelets that Randy makes, those sell really well too. He's constantly needing to make more of those. On our website, cabochons, like the groovy cabs, sell the best. Yeah, I think that's, our circle skirts sell really well too, but that's also a relatively new product line that we only had. Did my shipping question get answered? Oh, I don't think I saw it. Let me scroll through. How do you handle shipping costs? Do you do a flat rate for different package sizes, or do the different kits vary in dimensions weight so much that you have to calculate it every time? The way that we do shipping costs is we weigh for each of the items on our website. Whenever, like, let's say somebody bought this pendant, and then we ship it in one of our little clamshell boxes. So most of the time it weighs like 0.2 of a pound or something, like however many, like 4 ounces is just the base weight of the box. And so we put the weight of the piece, the weight of the box, and then who we'd be shipping through into our website, and it just calculates it in real time for us, because it's not just the weight of the box. For me to ship something to one state might be different than what it is to ship to another state. Sassy Cat says, what did you say your high profit item was? Earrings. Because we don't sell any earrings that are less than $5. But those earrings are literally usually just a cute charm on an ear hook. $5. It's a surgical steel ear hook. We did our best closing the ring to put it together. But those are, like, sometimes, if it's $1 to make a pair of earrings, for the charm and stuff, and we're able to sell it for $5 and it took very little time, that's a pretty good profit margin. But you have to sell like a bunch of them to get the bills paid. So our dragon heads take so much time and energy and effort and specialization, but there's nothing else that we've ever sold that's like, boom, $3,000 in a sale, other than our dragon heads. Boom, $1,000 in a sale. And it's like, so, and that's amazing, because that's, if I could sell, depending on the price of the dragon heads, anywhere from like 2 to 5 dragon heads a month, I'd be good. I would not have to worry. But I can't. It's been months and I've gotten none made, and I'm just like trying to not chew my leg off. Ah! Yep. Grace says $5 earrings are my gas money at events. Yep. Earrings are the best selling for me too, and I'm hoping all my fidgety type things will be good this year. Also captured D20s. Nice. That feels nice when it happens. It does. And it is so scary because I only gamble with my livelihood, and it's a gamble every single time. And I'm always like this close to tears whenever we're doing an event and I sell my first dragon head of the event. Because I'm always like braced and ready for, this is it. This is going to be the year where we don't sell anything. And, in going into Anime St. Louis has been that way for us the past couple of years, that we're like, all right, this is it. This is the year that sales are going to be down and we're going to be hurting because we really need this show to go well. And for 4 years in a row, it's been amazing. So, same with Dragon Con. Because that show is such an investment, both financially and emotionally, with our time and everything. And so it's always like, yep, this is it. This will be the year that everything collapses and we're doomed. Smoke them if you got them. And then it goes well. And we're like, we, you know, we did it. We slayed the dragon. Let's go home and, you know, hold each other and cry and be like, okay, and then get ready to do it again next year. But that's something I'm really excited about, is with the Alabama move, we will be able to, it's only going to be 4 hours. It's a instead of 14 hours, it's going to be a 4-hour drive, and we don't even have to go over is it Mont Eagle? What's that mountain between Nashville and Chattanooga that we have to go over whenever? It's horrible. Mont Eagle? Okay. Ooh, hacky sacks are huge again right now. Okay, but if anyone decides to make them, don't call them specifically hacky sacks. It's a trademark term. Ah, they're great juggling balls, though. That's good to know. We've got 2 of them sitting over by the kiln. Earrings, 50 cents to make, 5 to 25, pays for the table. Necklace and earring sets for 10 to 40 comes next. Right on, Wesley, yeah. I can see the dragon heads being good profit. They're so well done and beautiful. Oh, thank you, Sassy Cat. And the time, it feels like our time right now, because the artists that had gotten me initially inspired into, like, David Pancake is one of the artists that I was like, oh my god. The year that we were in the Dragon Con art show, and his booth was just a few tables up from ours, and I was able to see his dragons, like, hand sculpted. I was just blown away. And he still does really great work, but he sculpts digitally in 3D prints, which has opened up there's a whole market of people who want that one of a kind hand sculpted. And I don't have anything against 3D printing, or I'd love to learn the 3D sculpt so that I could do 3D printed, like, interiors. If I did not have to make and cast in molds to do the bones, I think I would like that. Like, if we could just sculpt the core and then 3D print it and then, like, sculpt over that. But anyways, hey, and so there's, you know, you pull in the harvest while the harvest is there, and then one day we're not going to be selling dragon heads anymore. People will be like, oh, that's enough of that. We don't want to buy that anymore, or I'll be tired of making them. And we'll have to find something else to keep the bills paid. But in pursuit of our bliss, I think, is the place that I want to stay. If I can just if we could retire one day, that'd be amazing. But tomorrow is not promised to us. I want to live for our bliss now, of pursuing our art and our passion, in the joy of teaching, in the peace that crafting brings. I really think effort makes a difference. I sell out of elastic gemstone bracelets at $20 every time. I add cards that identify the stone, the physical, mental health benefits, and oils that work. Right on. Well, hey, Melandrew. Says hi, Yvonne. Saying hi from Joplin. Oh, are you all set up and ready to go at the Ren Fair? Are you open to vending already? I'm dying to get some foam taxidermy mounts to do unicorns and dragons with. They're nice and light and would save time, but they do cost a pretty penny. Decisions. Yeah, and that's why I used the crazy bone skulls initially, and then we started sculpting our own and casting them out of foam again to get that lightweight. But the silicone, cray expensive. The foam at 8, cray expensive, and limited shelf life. So now I'm having to, like, the bottle's open, we gotta go, and it's just like, ugh. So, and I'm so bad at making molds, and it's just, I need to stop saying that. I think I'm just building it up in my own mind, and I'm making a self-fulfilling prophecy of, like, if I believe I'm bad at it, then I'm certainly going to be bad at it. So Sassy Cat says 3D printing to me seems kind of flimsy, but I guess it could be how they are doing it. Yeah, I can see that. It might just be how they're doing it, but I think it'd be great for making, like, a hollow form. I just want ram horns that are symmetrical that I can then sculpt over, that are lightweight and sturdy. Like, that's what I want. Ooh, Amarmar says, I have a book that is crochet taxidermy busts of animals. I need to dive in. Oh my gosh. Ooh, Kathy says, what's going on with that cat?
She's mad I'm not holding her.
Is she just mad? But I think we'll get there. Am I as bad at making molds as I think I am? No, I'm just all up in my head about it. It's wise to listen to the Randy.
And to answer Randy's question, we paid somebody to build our website.
Yes. We hired somebody to build our website. Get the Amber and the Z dog cuddling with his banana.
She did not like the camera.
Amber. I'll make her real mad. I'll touch her tail. She won't even look at me. Amber, come on. She said, don't look at me. All right. Mouse is Randy. Molds are really tricky. There's a million different factors to consider. There are. And then, like, we were trying to pull the mold out, like the casting out of the mold, and it broke. So then I have to, like, cut it, and then...
Which may be for the best.
Which may be for the best. Boo. We're going to go... That's what we're going to do right now, actually. We're going to go and unmold what's on the porch. And we'll do a second casting today. Does that sound pretty good?
Sounds great.
All right. So if there's a crafter, there's a way. And if I think I'm right, I'm right. And if I think I'm wrong, I'm right. Like, does that make sense? Like, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So I'm going to try to keep my head in the right spot. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me today. If you enjoy these little planet pendants, we are giving them away in our Kick live stream tomorrow. And
if you get to level 7.
If you get to level 7. So
Michelle should.
Yeah, we've got a couple of folks who are right up on the edge. So we're going to do another casting, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the day making the rest of these independents. That way folks can pick from them. But thank you guys so much for hanging out today. Thank you to everybody who purchased some tie-dye from our shop, backearthcreations.com. You keep the lights on, so thank you. And I will see y'all tomorrow. So until then, thank you and happy crafting. Mwah. Bye.